Okay. Guys, I'm sorry. I farted next to Aleya. And it's bad.
Well, why would you tell us
Why
that?
did you do that?
It was on accident. I was like scooching and I thought that.
Wait,
like
you farted recently?
yeah, no, not recently.
But why would you-
I was talking to Aleya.
You
It
could
was
have
like an hour ago.
you
was
could
an
have
hour
kept
ago.
that to yourself though.
No,
Why did you
I-
say
no,
that?
what?
He was mid-sentence.
I was mid-sentence.
And
I
he
just-
lifted his leg.
It's because I
You
was like,
lift like a
Oh
dog?
no,
my
I was
God,
adjust
dude.
like I was like sat
All
here
right,
and like I
man.
was adjust because like you know when like you strain the abdomen and like you're like this and
Brother,
like
this is the
when you
craziest
slip-
own goal I've ever seen.
Why did you do? Why are we discussing? Like, what happened? Oh, you just want a moment. Go ahead, tell us.
No, I didn't want a moment.
No, it's cool.
I just felt
Are we rolling on this?
Yes, this is
definitely
This is
are.
all staying in.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Why would you
I
do
just feel old.
But why? You could have not told us that. You could have not told anybody that.
I'm not
That could have been a
ashamed.
moment between
Oh,
you
shouldn't-
two.
No, you
No,
shouldn't
I'm
be
not ashamed.
ashamed, but you also shouldn't be proud.
I'm not
We're
proud.
closer for it.
I'm not proud. Yeah,
You smelled it?
Thank
You
you,
smelled it?
Aleya.
Aleya,
I'm
how
glad
bad
about
was
that.
it?
It was out of nowhere.
It
And
didn't
also
smell,
Sam,
it
our
just
production
sounded
guy
bad.
was here too. It was very funny.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Welcome into the Ringiverse. This is, of course, the Ringers Nexus podcast for all things fans. We are Jomi, the explainer, Adeniran. You've got questions, he's got answers. We are Steve, the farter, Ahlman.
Yep.
He farted on Aleya.
Not on.
Well,
Yes, you did.
Right.
You farted on her. We are Old Man Van, he of the receding resurgent hairline. We are Coke, Baby Chuck, the 24-karat closer. Join us today. The Midnight Collective. Is Kerm back there? I didn't see
Yes,
him.
he is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kerm back there. Is Kerm too?
It's just a dark void that we're looking into.
A
dark
In the
void?
booth. In the
Explain.
booth.
Jesus
The production
Christ.
booth doesn't have
How do we go
lights.
from chocolate
Why?
drop to dark void?
Jesus.
Why?
That's
why you like
insane.
this?
Hold on for it. Wait.
Why
Hold
you
on
like
for a
this?
second.
Black void that
Wait a
absorbs
second.
light.
Wait a second.
Know your personnel.
Wait a second. All the times I say stuff and you get on me, Kerm, he just called you a dark void. You ain't got nothing to say towards him?
I'm just done with it, man. Y'all just whatever. I just know my nickname's gonna
Nah,
be
you
something
stood up for
black
yourself.
related.
That's
I've given up.
That's some soy boy shit.
That's some
Calling
soy boy shit.
calling a black man a dark void's crazy.
void is
It's
crazy.
nuts, man. Come on.
That's like a bad comic character from like 1982.
He absorbs all light.
He absorbs all light.
Jesus.
Aleya O'Brien, Zenieris, and Arjuna, the Watcher, Ramgopal. Together, we are known as the Midnight Boys. Follow on socials, Insta, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok for now. Save Jomi's job. Jomi?
Socials are doing amazing. We got some stuff from Charles's little clown video.
Yeah, man.
What?
Saw
You-
that.
You was out there talking to clowns, bro. How was that, man? What was the genesis behind that?
Oh, they were just like, yo, we doing more videos now, Charles. Do you have an idea? And I'm like, I like to go interview some clowns. This is literally the idea. Honestly, I was enraptured. I'm more positive now. I'm super like the clowns are fucking dope. I got a lot of friends now.
What was the biggest thing you learned from clowns?
Honestly, people need to be fucking nicer to the clowns, okay?
Mm.
I
Okay.
was just like a lot of the clowns are like, yeah, sometimes you need to hide the medicine and the honey. People are really mean to us.
Medicine.
Kids are scared of us.
Jesus.
I'm like, damn, we really done lost recipes as a culture. Like we
Okay.
used to honor the clown.
You know, me and Bill talked about this on the Poltergeist Rewatchables.
Mm.
Because I asked him, I was like, what is the era that the clown went from being like nice clown to being scary? Like,
Yeah.
what's the era? I thought it actually had to do with maybe it,
Yeah.
but no.
Oh.
I cover it. There's been this clown panic a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It didn't start with it, but that's when I think we started as a like country being like, absolutely fuck off. Like, we don't like y'all.
Bill said John Wayne Gacy.
Yes.
Oh.
Is like John Wayne Gacy is the point. And I have to be honest with you, we had Bozo the Clown growing up, Chicago.
Love Bozo.
And it was fun. But Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Clown.
Uh-huh.
I feel like the clowns, this might be the era of the clowns taking their identity back.
Yes.
I hope so.
Rest in control. Also, you want to know what it was? I don't know if y'all realized, like, had this. Once the Halloween industrial complex really started, like, heating up, clown, like,
Scary
blood,
clown.
like, clown,
Yeah,
like, it would
demon
be like when I would go out
Yeah.
as a kid, I'd be like, there would just be, like, clowns dripping blood on their, like,
Because
fucking
it's because they're kind of scary though. Like Ronald McDonald, you look back at them now, the nigga's kind of scary. He's a little scary. I mean, I'm looking at the clowns. You had a lot of variety of clowns, though. They're more than just race.
Yeah.
But you look at Ronald McDonald and like Art the Clown right now.
Mhm.
Terrifier. It's scary. However, I'm here for the clowns like really taking their narrative back.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
It is.
I do, because like we have been, it's a frowned upon industry now. You don't even see clowns at parties anymore.
Nah.
You see people dressed up like Dora and they twerking. It's not funny.
Oh yeah, that's
Christ
true. They have
alive.
like you just get like a little mascot thing.
We're now on YouTube. You can watch every Midnight Boys House of R and Talk to Thrones episode on youtube.com/@Ringiverse. Like, comment, and subscribe. On Friday, Button Mash returns to discuss Alien Isolation and the 10-year anniversary of Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft. Now, is this a different game than the regular Tomb Raider?
Was this the PS4
It
one?
was Xbox? No.
There were a couple of like revamps, but I think this is like one of the original remasters of Tomb Raider Legend of Lara Croft, because we had like a reboot that was like post Uncharted era,
Yeah,
and then this
that's
was
the Xbox one, right?
That's the Xbox one,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
But this is one is like more of the ode to the classic.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Is you don't know the answer to that question, yet you felt compelled to answer it anyway. You don't
You
know
looked
about
at
this
me
game.
as if I should.
You don't know what this game is.
All right.
Really quick, I do have to say this. Do y'all remember the original like Lara Croft Tomb Raider? Like I remember
I don't.
playing it.
Yes,
and
I
it's
do.
so
I
funny
don't.
looking back at it now. As a kid, I was like, this is the hottest a woman has ever looked at a video
It's
game. And you
It's
go
6
back-
polygons.
It's like triangles.
She got triangle titties. But back then,
I was like, whoa. This
Yeah,
is
no, that was a
height of technology.
but even like the PlayStation itself, when the PlayStation first came out, I was like, oh my
mind-blowing
God.
graphics.
And it was like people made of blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like doing stuff.
Wait, you want to know what my favorite game? Do y'all remember Parappa the Rapper?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Step
man.
on the gas.
Yeah,
Step on
bro.
the gas.
That was
What?
Steve
It's
They used, to
irrelevant.
they used to make real video games back then,
Yes,
man.
we were a society.
You download a game right now, it's 190 gigs, and you can't
Crash
even do nothing in it.
Bandicoot, fucking
I think the games now.
Spyro.
I downloaded that Undisputed boxing game.
Oh no!
Terrible.
First of all, you just wanted to play Fight Night from 06. That's what we really wanted.
Oh, any boxing game I'll play. But yeah, you're right. Every time I look back on a game now that I thought was like groundbreaking, but it does get to a point to where, like, by the time you get to like the Halo era, you can pretty much play the stuff that you.
Yeah,
yeah.
But like before then, a lot of the games that we thought had changed life, they just
Nah.
they didn't really.
Well, it's when we thought graphics and how a game looks it equals, oh, this is the next level of gaming. When really it's just like, oh, like that can change in like smaller quantities now. Now it's like, okay, what's the game I want to play?
I
want
think
to
the
be
games
Spider-Man.
are too good now. Like I'm getting to a point where I'm just like, I don't need a game that costs $100 and I can see every pore of your skin and shit. Just like
we've got Elastigirl in Fortnite now. We give
Yeah,
her a
come on.
gun and just like that's it.
we crossed the.
It's true.
So I will say that the games are very good now.
Yeah.
And that just means that the learning curve on them is so fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I give up. I'll be like,
Yeah.
it's too much, bro.
Yeah, I put games on easy all the time. I'm like, I don't have time for this, bro. Let's get moving.
What if I taught you?
I tell
We
you
can
what
teach you.
though,
I'll do it all the time.
Spider-Man.
That's it.
All right,
it
Spider-Man's
for
not that hard of a game
It's
to learn.
It's not hard at
It's
all.
not hard.
But it's you can do a lot of stuff on Spider-Man too.
Mhm.
And the
With,
more
like, 3
stuff you
buttons.
learn how to do, the better the game is.
100%.
Which is normally not true of games for me.
Yeah.
Like the more ways you learn how to fight with Spider-Man, the more stuff that you learn how to do, it's better.
You know, air combos, you know. a
That's
bunch
the
of
greatest
other
game of all
gadgets.
time.
Oh,
All
all
right.
right.
Oh,
Well,
You just said Halo.
I didn't say that. I never said Halo was the greatest game of all time.
Well, I mean, you just mentioned Halo.
You argue like a Republican. I didn't say that. Also, tomorrow, House of R gives you a deep dive into the latest episode of Agatha. I saw heavy spoilers. Shout out to his name Ryan. What's the heavy spoilers guy's name? Do you guys watch heavy spoilers?
I do not.
No.
You guys don't watch any YouTubes.
Well, no, we watched some.
I watch YouTube. I just don't watch heavy
Heavy
spoilers.
spoilers. He was talking about the fact that he thought the episode was too short.
There's a weird thing that happens in these shows where it's like it's an odd thing to where to cut to. Sometimes you're like, this is an odd stopping point. Sometimes.
Is Agatha an hour-long show or a 30-minute
It's
show?
definitely
Because I was looking at the
30-minute show.
runtimes and I was just like,
But
what's
it's-
happening?
It's like The Bear, though.
Yeah.
The show is commiserate to, don't know if I use that word quite right there, but it's to whatever story they're trying to tell. So sometimes the bear is 40 minutes, and then sometimes
it's like 20 minutes.
Sometimes it's
But
like 20 minutes.
yeah, it's short, but that doesn't mean it can't be good TV. Not all.
True.
Good TV is not only limited to an hour.
I don't
Right?
know. I do. I'm watching Veep now. Shout out to Shea Serrano because I'm rewatching it. I'm
Yeah.
like, I do miss a tight 22
22
minutes. Just get in, get out.
Right?
You do miss a tight 22. I was like Leonardo DiCaprio.
All
Easy.
right,
Oh,
man.
my
God.
Also next week,
Damn.
Mint Edition returns for a new episode called Y'all Yelled About It.
Y'all yelled
Yeah.
about it.
What is it? What's that about?
Basically, we're polling everybody that wants to yell at us for checking something out, and we check out a couple of things that they yell
So y'all
about.
talking about Foundation?
No,
Whoa, we gotta keep it for the
nobody yelled about
pod. For the
Foundation.
I was trying to throw some bail. Tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But y'all, so these are the things that people are like, oh my God.
It's like,
we wish
oh, you
were
gotta check
covering
this
it,
out.
Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, and you didn't do it, and then you fucking went and did it for them.
Yeah.
I get it. That's great. But on today's show, we're going to give our instant reactions to the Green Lantern casting news. And I want to talk specifically about colorism.
Oh my God.
Color art.
I knew, bro.
This ain't higher
we
learning,
cannot
bro.
do this.
No.
We cannot do this.
The fear.
Why?
The fear is what gets me. I want to
fear.
talk about the colorism.
Fear.
By the way,
Don't strike me as a
I
man
want to
that's
make a
afraid.
distinction
Okay.
about y'all niggas. Twins. I want to make a distinction
Twin.
about why I don't care about this in this particular
Oh,
instance.
okay.
And I'll give you the distinctions on cultural shit in comic book / non-comic book movies and why
Is
it
this
matters to
this
me.
an actual, like, this is a serious way? Like, is this like an actual conversation? Are people actually mad that Aaron Pierre is?
I've seen a couple of
Now, this is
like a couple things,
But
but
we do this every single
that's
time.
what I'm saying. Like nothing. Like I don't. That's why I was like, seems like we don't want to blow it up, honestly, because I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think any of us think it's a big deal that much. But
I think we talk about it.
that's
though.
fair. If you want to talk about it,
Yeah,
so
I
you-
mean, I'll just
Okay.
bring it up. We'll dive deep into it. We have to dive deep into it. All right, we're going to do check-ins with Agatha and Penguin. Nerd News. Chuck, take us away.
All right. We finally found our Green Lanterns. Jon Stewart will be played by Rebel Ridge's Aaron Pierre. Pierre beat out Stefan James and Damson Idris for the part. According to Hollywood Reporter, I forgot this, but Pierre was originally supposed to star opposite of opposite of Mahershala and Blade. Hal Jordan is played by one of my favorite actors of all time, Friday Night Lights legend Kyle Chandler. James Hawes is directing the first episode. He is known for his directing work on Slow Horses and also Black Mirror. He directed the episodes Hated in the Nation and Smithereens.
Mm.
All right, first question for you, Van. Aaron Pierre, good choice for Jon Stewart.
Perfect.
Perfect. Why?
Physicality
Mhm.
and presence.
In the comics, Jon Stewart, Navy SEAL?
Yeah.
Marine?
Something like that. I
Mhm.
can't remember. But
Okay.
Rebel Ridge is a movie that with an actor that was any less able to take up space, it would feel like a sparse performance.
Mhm.
Movies like that characters like that are tough. Like even if you watch, obviously, First Blood, which is the movie that Rebel Ridge is most aptly compared to, Stallone has something in the movie to where he wears his trauma and his situation like all over his body. It seems like he's 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
And in Rebel Ridge, Aaron does a great job of speaking without talking and filling up the screen. And to me, that character needs someone that can be a little bit more resolute, that comes off like Stewart comes off.
Mhm.
And really, he has that superhero thing. But when I saw him and I saw that he was up for the role, I thought he was perfect. And he's just right now, career-wise, hotter than the other two guys.
Right.
That's what I was gonna say. It was feel like after Rebel Ridge, the guy like everybody's raving by his performance. He's amazing in it. Like you mentioned, the physicality, and so seems like the perfect time to make this guy Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
Just makes complete sense.
Stoicism is the name of the game for Jon Stewart, for me at least. And having seen Rebel Ridge, like he's got that in spades. I think that he's going to
What
bring
you mean
like
spade?
Huh?
What you mean spade?
he has it in
Playing
spades.
cards. What do we?
What you saying?
The
about
phrase.
What do you mean?
That's not
He's a spade? What does that mean?
I know what you're doing. and
So-
you're
No,
that's
no,
not
no.
One of
happening.
my
No.
questions-
Do you know what you're doing?
No,
What's happening
no,
right
I
now?
don't know
We
what you're
need
doing.
Spades.
I do.
Careful.
Charles.
What's going on?
To save Steve.
Joke.
My big question, because I
Yeah.
love this casting. I
Yeah.
love Aaron Pierre, Kyle
Yeah.
Chandler. Like Friday Night Lights is like a top 10, top 5 sometimes. Friday, like
Oh yeah.
TV show for me. I think these are two amazing characters. My worry, I looked this up. Kyle Chandler's 59.
Yeah.
He's up there.
Nathan
Looks
Fillion,
great.
Nathan Fillion, who was playing Guy Gardner in the Superman movies,
Hilarious.
53.
Mhm.
The Green Lantern Corps is starting to seem like a old folks' home. You know what I'm saying? And I'm wondering, is this
I
their
mean-
way of being like, Aaron Pierre is going to be our movie singular kind of Green Lantern in terms of like when we have a Justice League, this is he's going to be doing that, and like the Kyle Chandler, Nathan Fillion roles are more so like mentor type serious roles, or you know what? Does that make sense?
They're not starting. The fact that they're choosing not to start Green Lantern with Hal Jordan tells you right there that Hal Jordan and Guy Gardner are going to be at different phases of their relationship with the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
Like with
Mhm.
Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern, that's literally they're doing the origin
Right.
of the character.
Yeah.
I think they're doing the origin of the core here. So I think they're putting their hands to your question. I think they're putting the hands of the Green Lantern Corps into John Stewart. I think John Stewart's going to be your Green Lantern.
I
Definitely.
honestly think that actually is a really, really smart choice. Where, to me, I think you need like an actor like Kyle Chandler to almost resell you on Green Lantern that this is a character that can be taken seriously. After the Ryan Reynolds kind of debacle of that movie,
Mhm.
he's even made fun of that movie.
Sure.
And I do like the thought of like, all right, Aaron Pierre is going to be our Green Lantern, but there's already people who probably are experts. Like we're probably going to meet Hal Jordan when he's been Green Lantern for years now.
Mm.
And I like that. I'm like, okay, we're not starting the story from
Which,
this is everything
which
that the
is
Green
pretty
Lanterns
much
are.
the only thing that I would ever want from him being Green Lantern is to just Friday Night Lights coach John
Yes!
Stewart into being a Green Lantern.
That'd be funny.
That'd be great.
This dynamic kind of reminds me of the Ant-Man dynamic where like Hank Pym
Mm.
and Scott Lang, you know, where like Hank Pym is,
Yeah.
you know, for all intents and purposes, the Ant-Man we associate with all the comic stuff.
Yeah.
But there was a second one, and now we're like elevating that person to the role. And so I'm sure their relationship will be much kinder than Michael Douglas was to Paul Rudd in the movies. But I'm excited, man.
Do you
I
think
can't
they're
wait.
going to do something similar with The Flash? Where instead of starting with like Barry Allen and
Wally
shit,
West.
they're like, let's go to Wally West and kind of like yada yada a bunch of like,
I think it's a harder sell for that.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
some time
I
before
think
we get to that.
it's okay. So with
first
this
of all-
one, the whole Lantern Corps. First of all, as I understand it, this show is sort of a procedural, is it not?
it's a true
they
detective.
say
It's a
Right.
true detective situation, right?
Josh Brolin, I think, was in the mix. I even think there were rumors that Matthew McConaughey,
Right.
they were trying to go after him for.
So being
really?
that that's the deal, then you need various different people to occupy ranks of the Green Lantern Corps, right? So if he's a new recruit, then John Stewart is coming into something, and it being like a true detective mystery, you need different people to occupy different posts. With Flash, you're talking about a mantle. And so that mantle needs a starting point. And I think it might, for me at least, it might confuse some of the audiences to
I
start
mean, but
off
to
with
be
a
fair,
a
in the
Flash that's-
comics, they just went to Wally West. I'm not in the comics, in the show, the Justice League show, and then
Yeah.
Justice League Unlimited.
He was
They didn't
one of
really explain Barry Allen. They're just like, this is Wally West, he's the Flash. People
It's
are
also
okay.
like a little of a small taster of how possibly Superman's going to be, because we've more or less got like a massive gallery of DC heroes that are interacting with Superman that we may or may not even actually be familiar with. Like we have Mr. Terrific interacting with Superman to where the
Yeah.
large consensus of people don't really know who Mr. Terrific is.
Well,
And I
that's
think that
different though.
But I think that onboarding is kind of the same, at least when it comes to setting, when it comes to something like the Green Lantern Corps, where it's like,
Well-
all right, we're all like the space cops, and this will kind of just be like, all right, the old guard is shifting to the new.
Yeah, I think what I'm saying is with this, it's a lot easier because there are many lanterns.
Mm.
Nobody knows who Mr. Terrific is. People kind of know who the Flash is.
Right.
Mhm.
And so we're just picking this now,
Yeah.
but I think it would be probably easier to start the Flash with the origin of the character. Whereas this one, if you're doing the true detective type of thing, you don't have to be anchored to one particular guy.
My last question. Oh, what were you say, Joe?
You mentioned Superman. I didn't know how many characters he was throwing into it. Like,
He's got a lot.
I mean, obviously, Hot Girl, Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho. There's a lot. The
Is
Engineer.
Elongated Man in it?
No, it's Metamorpho, I think, and then Jonathan Kent. Like,
To which, like,
there's a lot.
To what degree is that just going to be like he's in the background or he's in a scene being like, "Hey, I'm here."
Yeah, there's a
Like,
lot
we had
going
Weasel
on.
in Suicide Squad, and he was just like a weird looking squirrel man.
That was a funny bit, though.
It was a funny bit, but that's all that he was there for.
I don't disagree, but at the same time, I'm thinking about it. When you want to make a Superman movie after like all the Wahala that's been around the Superman character for so long, I think you just want to make bare bones as Superman, Lois Lane, Perry White, Jonathan Kent, he fights Lex Luthor, boom. That's it. But they throwing a lot in there.
But I think they're doing that on purpose because I think, and it's so crazy, but I think the way to make Superman compelling is to actually make him smaller. I think I think Zach's problem with the Superman that he made was that he was giving high concept and low character stakes. So it was like, does the world need Superman? Superman is floating in and people are drawing S's and
He's
they're
like
worshiping
Jesus.
as a god.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing, right? And so having that gigantic question surrounding the character and his place in the DC universe, it necessitates you building up, like putting steroids in your lore. And you have to really nail the character if you're going to do that. However, in this one, if you construct a world when the world is happening around Superman, and he can either be the thing that puts it over the top or he can tip the scales in a way, I think it might be easier for the actor to find himself in the performance and also for the character to find himself in a new audience.
I mean, I think also what I like, if I can predict, is James Gunn probably learned a lot about how the MCU treated Captain America, because I think there is a way that they could have treated Captain America like they do in the comics, which is like, this is our best, oh my God, he's the center, rah, 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 versus how Whedon and Co. and Feige introduced Captain America is, in that first Avengers movie, you start looking at Cap and you're just like, oh no, he's the beating heart. There have been superheroes. Maybe Iron Man started this universe, but this is kind of our heart. This is the guy who like we look to morally. And I think it's smart in Superman to be like, oh, maybe the Justice League has already started, or there's all these other heroes, but this is the hero actually because of his morals, how he grew up, what he represents, that can teach us something. I think it's cool that a younger Superman is coming in. People are like, oh no, we've been doing superheroes wrong. This is maybe how we should do it from going on. And it's like, to your point, I think it's less of a big sell to be like, no, he's Jesus. And then Ben Affleck is like, and I'm alcoholic Batman. You're just this is a little too much, man.
I mean,
Do you believe?
You know, Affleck was just fucking obsessed, dog.
I like it.
He was. I mean, first of all, I love Batfleck.
I love Batfleck.
He
I
had
love
a
it.
fucking machine gun on the Batmobile.
What I like,
Dog,
what I
he's a
liked about
murderer.
Batfleck is I like people who talk shit, right? Superman come up to Batfleck, any point that Superman wanted to, he could have breathed ice breath on him and tipped his fucking head off. And Batman's like, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
Do you bleed?
Do you bleed?
And then Superman's
You
like,
will.
And
okay,
Superman's
buddy.
like, what? Superman's flying away. Batman's like, I got something for your motherfucking ass.
But to be fair,
You better run.
I feel like Superman never got checked. Like, I feel like if you took the powers away from, Zack Snyder's Superman, he's probably a bitch.
I mean, he got works.
Zack
worked by
Snyder's
Batman.
Superman is a bitch.
That's not true.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
not
no,
true
wait,
at
no,
all.
let him stand on it. Let him stand
Hold
on
on.
it.
First of all,
Let him
if
stand
you
on it,
and
though.
see what?
Let him have, take the floor. What do you mean? No, go on.
So,
Stand on it. Stand on it.
It is.
So without powers, you say Superman is a bitch.
I think that rendering of Cavill's a little bit.
Okay.
He was righteous in the first, like Man of Steel, like it flirts with that, like morally not righteous, but like morally like North Star Clark Kent that we could have known. But then as the evolution of the Snyderverse comes, and by the time he's meeting Batman, it's basically like this, like he becomes the threat that Batman perceives him to be at every turn.
How?
Yeah, in what sense?
Because he's like so cynical about Earth, and like he only protects it because he thinks he's the most powerful thing. And like I never see anything that's more than the threat that is perceived by Ben Affleck and his Batman to like, this is a problem waiting to happen. This is a threat waiting to happen.
So I think that's probably because they didn't really give Superman anything to do.
Yeah.
And so Superman was saying that Batman was doing it wrong, and Batman was saying that Superman was doing it wrong, but really they weren't doing anything.
Right. No. And
the movie is so chopped up
yes,
that the narrative of Superman going to Africa and all of that's why
Extended edition.
You watch the
No,
extended
come on,
edition.
man, I was locked
If you
in.
watch the extended edition, I'm not about to because you guys always hate when I do this, and I don't want to upset Charles. But if you watch the extended edition,
I've watched the extended edition.
the story. I'm not saying it's better, but I'm saying it is better.
It is better.
The
It's
concept-
The
absolutely
story
better.
makes more sense.
No,
It
he
makes-
has
The
a
Africa
It makes-
scene is nuts. Like, guys,
But the
it's
story,
nuts.
but in the extended edition,
You gotta think about it, though. Think about it.
You gotta think about
in
it.
the fucking one that they put out in theaters, it makes
No
no sense.
sense.
Yes, I agree on this.
In the extended edition, the story of
I
why
get it.
everything that happens at least makes sense.
But it's so much longer and weirdly more depressing. I'm like, God.
Oh, it's
definitely more
slog.
depressing.
It's an absolute slog.
It's definitely more depressing. But
It's
like,
definitely more depressing.
I mean, once you understand that Lex knows that that Clark Kent is Superman and that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and he's just like, and he's starting from there, the movie kind of falls into place. I'm not going to sit there and say it's a 10 or a 9, whatever, the extended edition, but I can understand how these things go.
We're doing a midnight rewatch on this.
We are.
Please.
Oh,
And we
my
got
God.
to talk to Snyder. Snyder, just like make the movie that you want to come out. Like make the movie.
Yeah,
the first time,
bro.
The first time.
Like try to execute the movie that you want to come out.
There's got to be people being like, we can't make a 4-hour.
We got a new fucking Rebel Moon. We got a new Justice League. We
8th
got a
edition.
new. Just make the movie
Please.
that you want people to see. The one that comes out, that's the one. Everybody has a director's cut.
I
and
feel
we
like it's
always
a bit now
director's
because
cut.
it's just like, oh, there's a theatrical cut, and then now let's just wait for the internet to get mad enough, and then they're like, nah, but the real one is
A
this
director's
one.
cut used to be a treat. It
Yeah.
used to be like,
Not a
oh
thing
my
that you
God, let's take the
clamored
studio
for.
out of it. Now this is the movie I actually wanted to make. Fuck
Fuck the
everybody.
studio,
Yeah.
man. But they released the shit anyway. Like they own it. What are you talking
What
about?
can you do?
So we're good with this. Oh, this is the just in case people didn't know. So there's some people that are mad.
Colorism.
Colorism. Isms.
Oh boy.
There's some people that are mad because in the comic books and in the cartoons, Jon Stewart is portrayed as a Kerm.
Jesus Christ.
As a dark voice.
As a Kerm is crazy.
What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing?
See, it's not as bad.
Kermah would be a good Jon Stewart.
Kerm would be a perfect Jon Stewart.
Can you imagine he just pulls up on Hal Jordan and start doing spoken word?
It'd be funny. What's this?
Oh no. Breaking news.
Breaking news. Henry Cavill has been cast in a live-action Voltron movie.
Okay.
Nice.
Good for him.
Is he the robot?
Henry Cavill just gonna keep
He's
doing
probably
it.
gonna be.
Is the team gonna assemble
Good for him.
All right, here's the
inside of
thing.
Henry?
It'd be
Voltron
funny
He's
if
gotta be Shiro.
It would be
right?
funny if Kerm
The
was
villain.
actually cast as Green Lantern because it would just be the green suit flying around in space. You wouldn't be able to see nothing.
Yes!
Oh my God.
Keep messing with me. This mix is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be the worst mix y'all niggas have ever heard. Keep messing with me.
But
He'll have you auto-tune
Kerm,
this whole episode.
Oh
Blackest
my God.
Night is a killer nickname. Bro.
That's a black as night.
Hey, hold
Oh,
on.
Blackest
man.
Night is a killer nickname.
With a K.
But
With
people
the
are
K.
mad. They're saying that Aaron Pierre is too fair-skinned to play Jon Stewart.
Interesting.
Upset. They're like this. They're like Jon Stewart is a dark-skinned hero.
Mm.
They're also Aaron Pierre also is going to Jon Stewart is American, and Aaron Pierre is also from overseas.
All right, what is it? Let's get this
You
out.
gonna-
What
you
is
gonna
it
do your
with
thing.
you
I'm not.
You gonna
and
do your
the
thing? Yeah,
UK black man? Like why can't we connect?
They took our jobs.
Yeah, like
Okay,
why
so
can't we bridge the gap?
Okay. So this is for,
Took
for
our jabs.
us to talk about, not you.
Not me.
No. This is what I'll say. My criticism, my critique of that only matters in biopics. I only care about it in biopics.
Not with like fictional characters.
Give me
I don't care
an
about this
example
one.
where it really just
Judas and the Black Messiah.
It bothered me at first.
Fair.
It bothered me at
No, I
first.
get
But to be honest with you, it's kind of a ticky-tack divisive type of thing. I get that. It's not something that we really should be that concerned over. But it's happening so much. Like John Boyega is playing like Otis Redding. And it's like it's not a huge deal, but then when you have guys like, we having Malcolm X be played and all of this
Uh-huh.
people, it's like there is something that, in my opinion, there's at least an underlying thought or assumption about the Black American performer. I mean, we're talking about like literally core people. We're talking about like Harry. And by the way, I'm talking about a lot of people who, frankly, I know and who did great jobs in these roles. But we're talking about like Harriet Tubman. We're talking about Otis Redding. We're talking about people who like, really, really matter, like Black American titans, right? Now, it happens the other way too. Denzel Washington plays Steve Biko. We've seen this before. We've seen this happen before. At the end of the day, it's acting. But I don't think that criticism is completely unwarranted. What I would say is that when we're talking about comic book characters, I don't think any of this stuff it really matters that much.
So I actually just I'm interested now. Why do you think
Although Storm should be played by a dark-skinned woman. But go ahead.
like why do you think the UK
want Zendaya
this is
playing
happening where
Storm?
like UK actors are basically getting more of it? Because like if we're being honest, if you were to list the top 10 Black actors in Hollywood now, I would probably guess 60 to 70% of them are probably from the UK or not from the States. Do you think this, like, what part of the business do you think this is?
Is this like basketball where like, they're like the Americans, like when Manu came to the league, they're like, all those overseas dudes, they be doing fundamentals, and is it kind of like something like that?
So you know what I'll do? I'll cross promote the podcast. This is what I'll do. I won't answer this question. I'll let one of the Hughes brothers answer this question.
Okay.
We had somebody check this. Which Hughes brother was it that was on the Continental? Either Alan or Albert, whatever. The Continental show. One of the Hughes brothers.
Amazon one.
So we had him on Higher Learning, and he's doing a Snoop Dogg biopic. And we asked him who's going to play Albert Hughes. We asked Albert Hughes who's going to play Snoop Dogg, and his answer was probably some British dude. And then he went right into why he thinks. And I was surprised that people didn't make a bigger deal of this. Why he thinks that the British Black performer is out and out superior.
Acting-wise.
Talent-wise, because of the stage, because of the way that they're honed. He talked about it. And if that's coming from someone who, I'm not saying I subscribe to that at all. I think it's bullshit.
Yeah.
But if that's coming from someone who's in a position to cast people, then that might explain to you why this is happening. There might be
But that's a philosophical thing when they come to cast.
Well, yeah, it's again.
they might feel that the British Black actors are better.
There's a
do they
level
also-
of prestige, or there's a
I
level
mean, it's
of like.
to me, like, to the metaphor I started, it's like AAU ball versus going up. It's a team game over there overseas. They teach them the fundamentals, whatever. In America, they look at it as like, oh, it's AAU ball. It's
stars.
it's just like one man doing the thing. I guess what he's saying is like how they operate over there, coming up through the stage and all that stuff leads to better actors over there than there are here. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, if I'm going to be honest,
but
I do also think a lot of this is just racism in terms of like, they probably view a UK Black actor as having less baggage than an African-American actor in terms of just like Snoop Dogg. If they're casting somebody from the West Coast, that they're probably like, damn, that's going to come with a lot of whatever. Let's just get somebody from the UK and just.
I mean, you could find somebody if you really wanted to.
No,
you can
I'm
find
saying
somebody.
you can.
Yeah.
I just think they're like, let's be honest. There's racism in the UK. It is completely different from the historical racism in the States. And there's probably a lot of white people be like, hey, yo, nobody like.
I mean, I really don't know. All I know is it's a thing that people think.
Yeah.
And so, you know what I mean? All I know is it's a thing that people think. And I was surprised that he said it
out loud.
But I also took it as maybe he was attempting to challenge Black American actors. For me, it's a non-starter because I can name you immensely talented Black actors, male and female, stage and screen.
Yeah.
Like Kelvin Harrison Jr., like Lakeith Stanfield. All of these guys are fucking fantastic. Now, the Brits are doing their fucking thing to a large degree. I'll say that. But if it matters to you, you can cast those roles with actors, to me, that are just as talented. But what I'm saying is he's not, this idea that this is happening over and over again, it's not like, no one conjured it. Like we asked a guy who's casting the movie and he straight up told us.
Wow.
So I'm not saying that means everyone thinks that, but it's something that decision makers are thinking. For the Green Lantern movie, I just think it's another talking point. I think Aaron Pierre is great for the movie. I think it's fine.
I mean, I would rather have this conversation than have the other conversation where they're just like, they put a black man in this, give me my nerd shit back. I'm like, it's...
I mean, our last two Batmans, let's be honest, our last two Batmans are British guys, right? Robert Pattinson. No. Not Ben Affleck.
2 out of 3.
Could you imagine Ben Affleck was British?
Well, like Robert Pattinson and then Christian Bale's Australian, I think.
No, he's Welsh.
He's Welsh. Is he Welsh?
Corn Sweat's not American, is he?
No, I don't think so.
He's British, I think.
Is he?
Wait, or Australian?
I think
no, he's American.
He's American.
He's
red
Oh, wait, he's from Philadelphia.
Red-blooded
Yeah.
American.
So you have that, and then you had a British Superman, so it's like,
Henry Cavill was British, yes.
Henry Cavill was British,
That's
so it's
what
not
we're
like
talking
it's only happening to black actors. It's like,
Yeah. Bob Dylan didn't
Make
look like Timothy
superheroes American
Chalamet.
again.
hey man, I tell you what, let me tell you what's not gonna happen.
What?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll just be real. We can have this conversation all you want. Let me tell you what's not gonna happen. You're not gonna get Chris Pine playing James Bond. The guy who plays James
that
Bond
will be a British
is going
man.
to be a British motherfucker.
They got
Protect
mad
they
when
own.
Daniel Craig got cast as Bond.
because he was
Because he was
blonde.
blonde.
Right.
Blue eyes.
So I'm saying,
They got mad when Pierce Brosnan did it because he's Irish.
yeah, so it's like you're not gonna have fucking, that's not
Could
what's
you
gonna
imagine Lakeith Stanfield as James Bond?
happen. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
I would love it.
Honestly, Lakeith Stanfield is my number one actor that you can put him in any role. And I'll
Any-
be like, I don't know if
better.
it'll be good.
I'll watch
But I'm
it.
gonna laugh my ass off.
I want to see him as Superman.
Ooh, yeah, he had to
All
get
right.
swole. He had to get
All
swole
right,
for
let's
that.
get to fucking
Guess
acting.
what? No. The funny thing is, for Lakeith Stanfield to play Superman, just like he is,
Lean.
lean soups.
Okay.
Okay.
Swimming in that costume.
Like-
Soups on
Wait,
a cut.
who's lowest?
Crazy cut.
Huh? Oh man, you could have anybody be
Kiki
Lois.
Palmer?
Kiki Palmer, Tessa Thompson.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Zazie Beetz just making Atlanta again.
Yeah.
Zazie Beetz, bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
Run it back. Make Childish Gambino Lex Luthor.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Would he go bald?
And
I mean, you have to. Gotta be
Definitely
bald.
has to.
Have to.
Gotta be
Have
bald.
That would
to.
be so crazy if you did that. Donald would probably be so pissed off if he wasn't Superman. If Lakeith was Superman, who would what's his name be? Paperboy. Who would he be?
He
Oh,
would
Perry
be-
White.
Jimmy.
Perry White.
Perry White.
Oh,
think.
or nah, he can't be Jimmy.
Why can't he be Jimmy?
That's two.
That's too.
You gotta have
That's too
better
plucky.
than that.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
It's too plucky. You got to be Perry.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
Perry Mason.
Perry Mason.
Perry Mason.
Sorry, not Perry Mason. What
Perry
did I
White.
say? Perry White.
You should.
Perry
you
Mason.
should
What's
be
going on,
familiar.
Steve?
Yeah, let's move on.
I did see Perry Mason the other day.
Steve farted one time. It's been downhill ever since.
He farted out all of his sits. All right. It's time to get into these motherfucking shows. Okay. Spoiler alert for the MCU and for Agatha, Steve. We're getting ready to talk about
Agatha all along.
You're listening to a reaction podcast. The spoilers are coming. To begin our reactions, we're going to bring you the Midnight Manifest. Talking about all the need to know about the latest episode of Agatha. Chuck, take it away.
All right, this is your Midnight Manifest for Agatha All Along. Darkest Hour, Wake Thy Power, directed by Rachel Goldberg, written by Laura Monti. The Coven heads to Agatha's trial after being chased by the reanimated Salem 7. In a 1980-style house, the Coven find a Ouija board and make contact with Agatha's mom. Evanora Harkness possesses Agatha and attacks the group. Alice dies in the process of trying to save them. Possessed, Agatha is defeated by the teen, who yells the name of her dead son, Nicholas Scratch. Agatha reveals that the teen is Wanda's son, Billy, and angered by the Coven's shaky moral fortitude, the teen dispatches of Agatha, Lilia, and Shen. All right. I think this is the episode, Van, that everybody's been waiting for. I don't think it was the most well-kept secret
Right.
that the teen was Billy Kaplan, a.k.a. Wiccan, a.k.a. Wanda's magical son.
Yeah.
First thoughts when you shut off the show.
You know what I thought? Agatha is something right now that an MCU show hasn't been in a long time, which is as good as it could possibly be. I don't think that there's a... I think that they're maxing out what an Agatha show could be.
Yes.
And I think that's a huge compliment to the show, but also an indictment of MCU television. Most of the shows that I've watched before this, I've been like, they could have done Moon Knight better. They could have done Miss Marvel better. It seems like there's so much meat left on the bone for them to get something out of these characters. And maybe because we knew the characters and we were expecting more. Like something like Secret Invasion, we know what Secret Invasion was in the comic books, and we know that wasn't Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
Right? But with this show, I'm like, I'm having fun with this show.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this show. The show is actually scary sometimes. And for what I know about this character, there's not much more they could be doing.
Yeah.
There's not much, it couldn't be much better. It's a little funny, it's a little sexy, it's a little scary. The Wiccan reveal wasn't a huge deal.
No.
But it was still cool when I saw it.
Yeah.
So I think if Agatha, honestly, if Agatha doesn't end up being something that people really, really love, it'll be simply because they just weren't interested in Agatha and weren't interested in this particular type of storytelling.
I kind of agree with that. I watched this episode last night with a couple of friends and my girlfriend, and we all see, like, nobody is as locked into Marvel as I have been over these past few years, and nobody really is that in touch with either Wiccan lore or, like, when the Wiccan reveal happened, they're like, oh, so he's got powers. That's cool. Who is that? And, like, what does that mean? Like, the amount of people that are loving this show while having, like, next to zero point of entry to this, next to, say, WandaVision, or they just really like spooky witchy stuff, they're having a great time, and that's all that that the show has never needed to be. And it really seems to be the fact that it's capitalizing on something that, again, is exactly as good as it could be and that it needed to be. And I'm not saying that it needed to be a groundbreaking show. It doesn't need to be a thing that attracts the hardcores or the sweats or anything like that. But it's the fact that it's getting the people that are just, barrier of entry is nothing, and they're having a great time with it. And I'm still having a great time with it.
Yeah, I think what the show does, like, particularly well is that it's extremely episodic, you know, and it's like going back to the WandaVision thing where every episode they're going to do a trial, and Wiccan
that
finds
comes with a TV show theme.
They're in different costumes. Wiccan finds the clue for the trial, and then one person has to use their powers to figure it out. Then they get outside, and it's just like, yeah, you could be like, oh, it's the same formula over and over again, but honestly, it works, right? There's something that we connect to each week. And honestly, I think this episode was the highlight of that entire thing, right? We have the scene with Agatha and her mother, which was insane, by the way. Imagine hearing your mom being like, hey, we should have killed you when she got out the womb.
Nuts.
That's crazy.
By the way, that's like a little cheat code, right? So, like, if there's not a ton of her backstory yet, and the show at its worst keeps telling us how bad Agatha was without showing us.
Right.
Right? And that's the show at its worst right now, right? Agatha's so terrible, Agatha's so terrible, but we're watching the show and we're like, kind of like Agatha.
Yeah.
So
it's the name of the show.
She doesn't seem as bad as what you guys are saying she is. But when you see her mom there and you see that her mother says she should have killed her, you automatically connect with how fucked up that is from a parent.
Yeah.
So once again, it's the show not really relying too much on character building, which is the best way to do it, but just taking something that we all understand and then using it to further flesh out one of the main characters.
And the show does a smart thing in this particular episode, because there's supposed to be like a sleepover vibe. Everybody's having
Stranger
fun,
Things type stuff,
you know. And like the ghost mom is down there talking to everybody about how bad Agatha is, and Agatha's up there like, Mom, don't embarrass me in front of my friends. Like, it's just little things like that that make the show feel so smart and enjoyable. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
and it
loving
knows what it's doing at every turn when it wears the costume of whatever TV show or movie or pastiche that it's having each week.
Mhm.
Like, it knows the little winks and nods that it can do in front of the audience to be like, see, we're doing the Stranger Things sleepover camp thing. We're doing the oh my god, the Pretty Little Lies thing, or or Mayor of Easttown. Every single time it has all of these hats that it can wear, and it just wears it with a charm and a plume, and I love it.
You love
And
the term plume.
You're a plume guy.
Play with a plume.
With a plume.
With a plume.
With a
By
plume.
LeVar Burton.
Does this show, like, in retrospect, do you think like Feige and co are like, damn, does this make more sense if they knew WandaVision was going to be as successful as it was, where you get WandaVision, you get an Agatha or Billy type show, and then we have Vision Quest, that seeming more like a seamless thing?
It feels odd. Well, I think it's twofold. It feels odd that a show like this, that is more or less a sequel to WandaVision, one of the most popular shows that they've ever had, took so long to come out after the fact.
Yes, because there's a part where this show is the sequel to WandaVision, but it's not.
It's not.
That's sometimes where I get a little tripped up, where I'm like, just me as a viewer, probably the most interesting thing is that I'm interested in is like, all right, what's the continuation of the Wanda of
Story
the
or
WandaVision
lore or whatever.
twins story? And I do think it's a creative way where it's like, oh, we're probably not going to get Olsen in 3 seasons of this, so we get Catherine Hahn, and then we're gonna go to Paul Bettany, and he's gonna get a shot. But I wish there was a little bit more.
It's a sequel. It's a sequel to the world. There are story sequels and there are world sequels, right?
Okay.
So like Captain America and the Winter Soldier is a sequel set in the same MCU world as Captain America. Same street level world, same you gotta answer to the president and the military world. So even though Steve Rogers isn't in it, the people that were surrounding him are in it, and a lot of the storylines that were made concrete throughout the Rogers run are in it. This is set in the same world, the witchy world, the kind of we play a trick on you world. And I think the thing that the show has to do is explain what the future of that world is in the MCU and why we should care about it.
Do you think it's gonna do that? Because I feel like the show doesn't really have much interest in, like, maybe by the end they'll pass the baton to Vision Quest. But I don't know when I'm watching the show if that's even what they're kind of like interested in making that narrative.
I think that we're going to get ourselves tripped up on wanting that typical MCU passing of the baton post credits. Oh no, where are we going after this one? I think that Marvel might be a bit smarter to just be like, hey, wasn't this a fun time?
I totally disagree.
I know that because that's been the secret.
Got to keep the ball rolling.
I know that's been the success of the entirety of this entire thing.
There has to be something at the end of the road.
I get it.
So I mean that figuratively and literally.
And literally, I understand that.
There has to be something at the end of the road.
For sure. And I think
we have to learn either something a lot more concrete about Agatha or something a lot more concrete about this world. I'm not saying that this has to solve all of the problems or create this different type of deep lore like Guardians did for the cosmic Marvel world.
Sure.
Like Strange did for the mystical
the world of
world.
witches has not been cracked open.
I'm not saying that
Marvel.
it has to do that, but I do say that at the end of this, there needs to be an understanding as to what we're stepping into.
Oh yeah.
And so if the show doesn't do that, it's a failure. And by the way,
wait, really? Here's the thing. This coming from someone who's like, I've been on record like this isn't like a show for me. This is not generally what I would watch. But I do think that what you and Steve are saying is the interesting tension where it's like, can an MCU show just be like a good one-off adventure, or does it need to further some type of narrative? Even if it's not the larger MCU narrative, does it need to further the Wanda and Vision story or the Young Avengers story or like, and I think that's what I'm searching for, where I'm like, to your point, if I get to the end of the road and I don't have a better sense of who Billy is, what the connection is to the larger kind of story, and like, where are we going with that? I'll be like, Okay.
Well, I mean, go ahead, Jomi.
It seems like I don't want to say like it's an impossible, like, or even like a tough balancing act, but it can be hard, right? Trying to juggle the narratives of the characters versus the narrative, like, of the world in a show, like Wanda or like Agatha all along, right? I think, and maybe this is just like a personal thing. I like seeing a character grow over, how many of her episodes, 9, 10, whatever, 8, whatever it may be. The world, at least in the TV shows, I know I'm gonna get a movie that's gonna expand the world or whatever. I'm gonna get 2, 3, getting 4 movies next year, right? For a show like this, as long as the characters move and grow and change, that's fine by me. I'll be okay. I don't think if the show ends and Agatha, we learn more about Agatha, but we don't learn more about that world, I think I'll be fine.
But my thing is this: what good would you, if there's no, if the world itself has no intrigue or you don't get a deeper understanding of it, why would you care about a movie? So like, to me, that takes all of the burden away from, and this is kind of the thing, right? To me, I'll give you an example. I desperately wanted to know what was next for Wanda after WandaVision. This is very simple.
Yeah.
I desperately wanted to know what was next for Wanda.
But is that
after
because of the
WandaVision.
story? Because of her growth through that
No,
show?
it's because of at the end of the show.
I mean, when White Vision flies away, my first thought is, I want to see, where's
he
White
going?
Vision?
Where's he going? What happened to Vision? Like, where's he going? Like, what happened to Vision? Like, where's he going? What happened to Vision? You are now the Scarlet Witch. We have been with the character for fucking 7 years and we hadn't heard that name. Okay, now she is the Scarlet Witch. What does this mean? She's got the Darkhold now. What happens to Wanda now? All of that. And then that leads you into being curious about the version of Wanda that you get in Multiverse of Madness.
But they dropped the ball in Multiverse of Madness, which I think is my indictment of just how this was rolled out, which I was like, all right, WandaVision builds Wanda up to a certain point, and I honestly think that series, say about it what you will, is probably the one that finally, to me, was like, okay, we're going to fix Wanda, because she wasn't that interesting of a character in the movies. Like, she was there, but most of the time they weren't giving you what you needed to. They get her to an interesting point. We get Multiverse of Madness. They fridge her. Now we have Agatha, and we're seeing the sun. And I'm starting to be like, I don't
think they fridged her in Multiverse of Madness.
You don't think so?
I don't. And I also think that she was one of the more compelling characters, because I think, besides like maybe Tony or Cap, she had lost the most. She's getting her fucking ass kicked.
Whoa, but before WandaVision, if we're just going from what was in the movies, my problem with
she had lost her brother, she had lost her
she
lover,
lost
she had lost her entire village, her hope. I was actually interested in, like, are they gonna stop kicking her ass? And when WandaVision came out, I remember I was happy in seeing, okay, her own story on her own terms. What about Wanda? I was actually interested in seeing that.
But I think my thing is, like, don't you get that, like, story growth, that, like, large narrative growth through the character growth, right?
But you get it not just through the character growth, but you get it through what she's actually doing, right?
Yeah.
She's actually the bad guy in that story. She's the jailer in that story, whether she means to be or not.
Yeah.
And her coming to terms with who she is, she expands the world of witchiness. She makes into a bigger thing. Like, it does come through her character. I'm not necessarily saying that can't come through the character.
Of course not. But I'm saying, like, I think my thing is the best way to do that, the best way to show it, like, expand the world, is to have a character, like, start from here and find themselves in somewhere different at the end.
Yeah, well, it's the only way. But what I'm saying is, in this particular case, what you get sometimes at the end of the MCU is either more intrigue without deepening anything,
Yes,
or a narrative that feels a little hollow and meaningless.
You know what? But you know what did this well? A TV show that did this well, and I don't think they ever did this again, which is, like, if you look at that first season of Loki, by the end of it, when you get Majors coming in, Hugh should not be named, whatever, it's a TV show that, like, opens up the world where not only am I excited to see the next season of Loki, I'm like, where is this thread going? And in this magical world, I do want these shows to be like, I want the end of Agatha to feel like it doesn't have to give me like a Kang reveal or whatever, but like, yo, I want to be excited to be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, what's happening? Who's the next witch? What's
That's been
going
the
on?
magic that Marvel's had pretty much since its inception.
Yeah.
And I'm almost kind of wanting to see it kind of a little bit dialed back, only because for the sake of everything that's happened post Endgame, even WandaVision to a slightly less degree, it's been constantly left off the table for anything that comes after it, because we've been seeing something that are like, oh, well, if we don't have resonation with a narrative or a character or things that went down, we've got a great breadcrumbing for the next thing that they could be doing.
See, I'm not
and
even.
that's the and I know
that's
that
not bread. I'm not even talking about
and
breadcrumbing.
I know
right?
that that's not exactly what we're talking about, but like to know that like if there isn't anything more deeper than, okay, so Wiccan is here, he's here to avenge what
the fact that Wiccan is here is the subject of how did he get here?
No, I get
now,
that.
If you read the comic books, then you know why Wiccan is alive.
Well, let's
and
do
stuff like that.
Jomi, the explainer. Can you do like a ISO just on like, because I want to get into the conversation of who Wiccan is, Young Avengers on the board, and then I think we've all read the comics of like maybe an explanation of how we think that this little boy became a teenager.
Well, so in the comics, Mephisto tried to think Scarlet Witch and Mephisto had a thing, and he was the lost son of Scarlet Witch, reincarnated as Billy Claplin, who grew up to be the young Avenger known as Wiccan, right? And so he's extremely powerful with magic, obviously being Scarlet Witch's son. And I think, yeah, like in terms of I'm trying to think, on the board for the Young Avengers, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, Wiccan,
Bradley.
Patriot. I mean, Scar is not like an official member. He was there. Stature, Ironheart, America Chavez, and Kid Loki. Right, like
all these kids not making the team.
I mean, they
I
could.
don't give a fuck about the Young Avengers.
See, y'all are hating. See, and
Well,
I
no,
know,
but
this is not for you.
The reason we have to talk about this is,
I mean, and Speed. We're gonna see Speed at some point.
I mean, it'll be a Vision Quest,
Yeah,
maybe we'll see Speed at the end of this show.
Good.
Maybe we'll
That'd
see
be
Speed
nuts.
at the end of the show.
That'd be
I don't
nuts.
give a fuck about whether or not we see Speed or not. Couldn't
Well, you
care
don't
less.
like the plot,
but like what I'm saying is the only point that I'm making. The only point is that very few shows. If you're talking about a limited series, which I guess this could be looked at depending on how it goes. If you're talking about a limited series wraps up its narrative.
Yes.
So it's just basically a long movie, right? Limited series, most of the time, wraps up its narrative until it wins a bunch of fucking Emmys and makes all kinds of money for the network.
For season 3.
Which lets people know that they're going to bring it back. Okay. Now, everybody talks about like Lovecraft Country. If Lovecraft Country was the #1 rated show on HBO and all of that stuff like that,
we don't have a Mayor of Easttown season 2 though.
This shit would have come back. Just wait.
It'll happen.
Just wait. But if not, then you have to end the show making people curious about the future of what you have going on. That's all I'm saying. And and you know that a show has failed, not only when you're not curious about what's going to happen in the future or the larger ramifications of the world, but when you don't want anymore.
Yeah.
Like when you don't want anymore. I don't think we want that much more. I didn't think She-Hulk was a terrible show, but you didn't leave thinking, "Oh my God, like what does this mean?" Like what, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't want any more She-Hulk.
I can't wait to see her in Daredevil.
And in this can be contained in just about Agatha and just about that, but it has to push what they're trying to ground into something that's viable story-wise for the people who watched it.
Do you think that all the bigwigs at Marvel who are making these TV shows believe in the capability of the TV shows to do that, to push the narrative forward? Or do you think they're like, hey, it's so hard to land. We're trying to do more things like an Agatha or a Wonder Man that are important, but a little bit to the side. And the movies are where we're going to push the thing.
I think that they thought that they could serve us candy, but what we really wanted was like calamari. And let me tell you what I mean. They thought that they could serve us something that was just gave us a sugar high,
Mhm.
and then we will fall off and we will be cool with just eating candy and candy and candy and candy. What we at least need the TV shows to be, and we've had this discussion on here, we at least need them to be competent appetizers. We at least need them to be something with that you're just starting and there's a bigger meal coming, but we at least need it to be something that you go to the restaurant for. Now, there's some restaurants that I go to, and I really want the calamari. It's not all that I want, right? I do want the meal. I do want the movie. I do want the entree. It's not all that I want, but I look forward to the calamari, right? You would not feel that way if what they were giving you was just like the little mint that you get at the front. And I think they thought they could just give us candy, that we would be so happy to watch a lot of this stuff that the momentary high of seeing Moon Knight or seeing Miss Marvel or seeing the Skrulls, not the Skrulls, the Skrulls, yeah, of seeing the Skrulls will be enough. And it's not enough. If it's going to be a good appetizer, we needed to at least appetize. And that's all I'm saying. I'm saying, sure, we want an entree with Agatha and a movie and the Young Avengers and all of that stuff, but this at least has to be good calamari. And that's me drawing a line with these MCU shows. I think they only really came back to this show because they told Captain Han that they were going to do it. And I think she was an actress that they probably respect so much that they didn't want to just leave her show in the lurch. I think that they came back to the show because of that. And they're probably going to lean a little bit more into Wanda and Vision Quest and all of that stuff. I don't know that I don't want to speak too much for them, but I don't know that if things have gone so bad for the television shows over the last 2 years, that I don't know if a different actress was Agatha or if she hadn't broken out from the first, that this would have even happened.
Well,
No, they definitely rode off of the high
I mean,
that
I
was
think
Catherine Hahn in that
if I'm
first
being
season.
honest, they were probably too far down the road to do this. If they were to redo this, I would be like, yo, this is probably a Werewolf by Night situation where instead of like 8 episodes, I do think if they gave maybe a more contained, because this, to be honest, when I'm watching this, I'm like, this would have been to me a better like ABC Family Halloween 90-minute movie where it's like,
which again, I would love more of those.
I think that's what this show is, and I'm just like, when you're watching like 44 minutes, you're just like, oh, this isn't bad, but this is like, it's candy, and I'm just like, I would much rather have the 90-minute contained version of candy versus like every week just getting a little bit of the sugar high, but like walking away being like, I would like, I would like to calamari.
Yeah, but like, also, do you think that
it was good?
Do you think that we never talk about Werewolf by Night because of the fact that like it's never once touched the larger MCU ever again?
I mean, I don't know if there's that many people talking about like Agatha, just even in comparison to something like the Penguin.
Yeah, people are liking it. People are liking it.
No, I think people in like our bubble are liking it, but I don't know if it's crossed even. Yo, when WandaVision was cracking, even Falcon,
I mean,
Loki,
I don't know if
that
we're
was
gonna get
okay.
that again.
That was 2021.
That's post Endgame as well. Though.
Yeah, that's the
all right,
highest
true.
it's ever
But
been.
even like, what have been some of the nerd shows that we've even covered that have like crossed over? Like, I don't know if Agatha has.
There
done
haven't been
feel
that
like-
many, honestly.
I feel like the Penguin. We'll talk about the Penguin later. Has kind of
crossed
hit that,
over.
Crossed over. There's a lot of people I know
A lot of people
who
crossed
would
over
not
for that.
who would not touch the stuff with the temple pull are enjoying Penguin.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think Penguin is a nerd show.
It's not really.
I think Penguin is. We can talk about it. I think Penguin is closer to Joker than it is to a lot of the other stuff that we're talking about. And I'll tell you why.
Wait, can we? Let's just pivot to it.
No,
then.
I got one thing I wanted to mention.
Okay.
And this is I think the like part of the genius of the show. So when it ends, right, we see Billy with the crown, right, and then they play like the Billie Eilish song about the crown, and I'm like, it's a little on the nose, but
People were loving it.
No,
I like Billie Eilish, man.
Here's the thing.
Come on, man.
I like some Billie Eilish music. My biggest pet peeve in all the TV shows and movies is a needle drop that's just too obvious. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when it's too obvious. I'm
When
like,
they do Billie Eilish, they get it at the end of what's the movie Brightburn? At the end of y'all never saw Brightburn?
Is Billie Eilish? Was Billie Eilish doing
Bad guy.
was Billie Eilish even alive?
What's the Billie Eilish song? Isn't that called Bad Guy or something?
No, but
Man, I'm
that
sad.
I thought it was in the trailer.
but yeah, wait,
That's at the end of-
Right,
I never saw
the
Brightburn.
evil Superman kid.
I never saw Brightburn.
I saw
when did that come
Brightburn.
out?
That came out in 2019.
I never saw Brightburn.
2019.
Y'all never saw the
Yeah.
movie. So
I
stop
saw
lying.
the movie. I've
Because
seen it.
if
I
you
don't
know the
think
movie, they drop it right after.
Okay,
I don't recall that. I do
I
not
thought
recall
the
that.
movie came out in 1995. I thought that was like an old, not actually.
Right.
But I thought
They
it was like
do
an
that.
old
They
movie.
do,
That
they
was like
do
13
that
or
though.
14
They
years
do
ago.
that.
Before there's a death in this one.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Alice.
Wow.
Alice dies quickly. Did this death affect you at all?
I think it affected me in the sense that, like, oh, Agatha's like kind of actually really turning bad now.
Mm.
I'm gonna be honest. Just because of the tone of the series, I'm like, all these witches coming back at the end. Here's the thing.
Probably.
I like it. Do you get
Not-
what I
not Miss
mean? I was
Hart,
like, she ain't really dead.
Not miss that. I mean, it was tough because, and again, Agatha is the bad guy,
Right.
right? And so even when she takes Alice Wu's powers, right, and everybody, Jane's like, no, I'm trying to, and then they go outside, and he's like, hey, that was kind of messed up. She was like, what you gonna do about it, little nigga? What's up?
Yep.
Yeah, are you sure? What's up? What you trying to do? They're like, oh dang, Agatha, I wasn't familiar with your game. Okay,
we didn't get into in typical Midnight Boys fashion direct story points. We talked more big picture stuff. If you look back at the direct story points in this show, Agatha's relationship with her son, Nicky Scratch,
Nicky
and
Scratch,
what that trauma means
Talking
to
through
her.
the Ouija board.
The Ouija board trial, the trial, this particular trial being about Agatha singularly
Yes.
was very interesting. And that leading to Wiccan becoming Wiccan,
Mhm.
Alice becoming dead, and Agatha kind of becoming bad. She sees power, she can't help but siphon it off.
Yes.
Yeah.
It seems that the show is going to actually question the very nature of Agatha and what that means to the concept of being a witch. Now, when you look at the show is always indicting what we think witches are,
Mhm.
what witches really are. They ride on broomsticks this time, and it's like
cliche.
The broomsticks are cliche, all of that stuff.
Domesticity.
Agatha being the witch that we learn about witches through,
Yeah.
and her actually fighting back and forth with whether or not witches are bad
Yeah.
or whether or not witches are cool is kind of an interesting thread to me. That's why Alice's death, while not emotionally
Yeah.
super a big deal to me, still means a lot in the show because the show seems to be talking about the nature of witches in this world.
And what it means going forward too, because at the end we can put Agatha and the other two witches into the goop, and I imagine they have to get out and work together, right? And
In
how do you
some
work
way.
with somebody, right? And how do you work with somebody who just killed your homie?
Also,
You know what I mean? Like,
important note: Rio stayed behind.
man,
What was she doing to the body?
Whoa.
Theories abound that she has something to do with death.
shout out House of Art. House of Art put this on my radar last week, and in this episode,
Mm-hmm.
right when they say death is there, Rio like laughs, and I was like,
I am Lady Death.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Mm.
It's hilarious. It would be hilarious to me because in the comic books, Thanos is very, very like all up on death.
Mhm.
If Thanos was just like, yo,
On
my
Aubrey
side chick
Plaza.
was Aubrey Plaza this whole time, would be hilarious.
If
I
Thanos-
understand. A
if
crash out
Thanos-
for the whole galaxy.
Yeah,
but
man.
if Thanos snapped half of life
For Aubrey
for
Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza, I'm shaking his hand.
Yeah.
I understand. I see
This
what
is
you
such
like.
What kind of
All right.
simp shit?
I understand,
You
brother.
say half the people in the universe could die because of Aubrey
Thanos
Plaza?
is a
That's
simp.
not-
I get it.
Thanos is the
he
biggest
simp.
simp in all of
he a
fiction.
simp. But are you saying right now that you would kill
I
half of
don't-
the Earth's
here's the
population for Aubrey Plaza?
I don't condone the behavior, but I understand.
Wait, what?
That's
Honestly, this is a
ridiculous,
good
bro.
question.
I
If
understand.
we were Thanos and you had to snap half of the universe for one celebrity crush, who would it be?
There's nobody.
What?
Nobody?
You gonna kill forget about half the people. I'm not killing half the little dogs of the world. All these little
Alright, you
dogs
can save the dogs.
running around.
You got the
No,
you
can't.
got the
See, this is what
Infinity
y'all
Gauntlet.
do.
Well, you got to remember he did that of his own volition. He was like,
Right.
if I snap half life in the universe, she'll love me, right?
Yeah,
you
that
can
was his
snap
gesture.
whatever.
She didn't ask for that.
What
Right,
I get it, but now because y'all feel guilty because you kill little innocent puppies.
No.
Here's also you're a fucking liar because you the first motherfucker who'd be like, "Hey, yo."
No, I wouldn't. No. We just turned it to the Vic Night Boys. We want to kill half of the fucking puppies in the whole fucking world.
You
Like
just
Get off your
Come on,
fucking
now.
high
I'm not
Please,
getting on my horse.
Van.
I don't
Oh,
think that this
please.
fucking hypothetical is right.
We're
There
sparing
is no
Moodang. We're sparing
piece
Moodang.
of ass in the. By the way, Vic rehabilitated himself. There's no piece of ass in this world that's worth
You're
snapping.
such a liar, man. You are such a liar, bro.
Cause somebody jump in.
Never.
Is there-
I'd do anything
Is
for
there
you.
is there any hot woman in the world that's worth killing half of the
Aleya
population
not
of the
doing that
world?
with Dylan O'Brien. She's like, I'm sorry,
You
Midnight
wouldn't
Boys. You out
snap
of here.
half the life in the universe for Kalika?
Nigga, fuck nah, nigga. What the
All
fuck?
right, man.
Hey, am I wrong about this? Guys, am I wrong about this?
I also wouldn't do it.
Yeah, what the
It's
fuck are we
only because he
talking
brought
about?
up the animals. If you
All
had
right,
a choice
and
to
dog,
y'all
if
not,
Beyonce's
man.
like snap half the world away, I'd be like,
Come
hey,
on, man. Y'all not.
Oh my lord,
Y'all not real yearners, man. Y'all not real yearners.
Am I Kerm, black dude?
Kerm's in the bathroom.
Oh Jesus!
Wow. At least she's not farting.
Like,
Here's the thing, man.
bricked up?
I'm doing it. Me personally.
Haley Steinfeld?
She probably on the list.
Oh,
She's
no.
on the list.
Yo, bro.
This is
She's on the
not
list.
right.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. I've been. You know what I think? Another thing about this is though.
Mhm.
I think I've been watching too many of those interrogation videos I told y'all about.
Mm.
wait
I
and
watched
see
some
or
fucking-
discover.
Cold interrogation videos, bro. One y'all gotta go watch. Y'all gotta go. I'm not gonna like support this nigga, but y'all should watch some of these. I don't want to say his name
I'm not gonna support him, but
because he went
check
to
it out.
jail.
Do your own research.
A white boy from Michigan that got into a fight. He was one of the worst and I don't want people to be hurt.
Did you put hands on him?
Nah, man. Interrogation video. These people do crazy stuff, but I can't see myself being in some of these situations, bro. It's
You
like,
being
that's
Not
why-
at, your,
interrogated?
not at your Gooner peak?
nah, not at my Gooner peak, bro. I just wanted to be by myself. I didn't want other people to have.
Oh,
Wow.
righteous.
I mean, they are a reclusive
Oh
bunch.
my God.
They are a reclusive
I just
bunch.
wanted to be by
Hey,
myself.
yo.
It's so
Yo.
funny. Like when you a real true Gooner, like when you a real true Gooner, you try to get people out of the house for all different types of reasons.
Oh my God.
Like, you know,
What was your biggest move? You just like, hey, yo.
like you couldn't get your parents to leave, right? But like, you know, when your homeboy was over and you had enough Madden, let's say you had to be somewhere at 8 and
What's peak gooning hours, by the way?
well, it's whenever you got the time.
Okay, right.
So
That's the
fair.
thing. That's the thing about a Gooner. It's
Yeah,
like,
you live
there's
a
no
life of
time.
small victories.
Yeah.
You really do.
There's no
It's
time.
It really is hurry up and
So-
wait.
24 hours, 7 days a week.
Let's
type
say you
stuff.
got to be somewhere at 8, right?
Yeah.
Your homeboy comes over like noon, y'all gonna play some Madden. And you think, okay, we got 4 hours of Madden at the very most, which leaves 4 hours premium goon time, right?
You need 4 hours?
Back in the day, yeah.
What are you?
So it's like a whole thing. You go, whatever.
I just imagine
So-
in that dark
and so
room and he's got a
look,
cigarette. It's
Look,
like,
look.
Oh my
and
God.
so, but for some reason, your homeboy, you know, maybe he went through something. He keeps wanting to play the Madden or whatever.
He's lingering.
He can't
He's
go home.
lingering.
He can't go
He
home.
doesn't want to go home, or somebody's at his house or something like that. You got to find ways to get this nigga out the crib because you don't want to just be like leave.
right.
Why can't you just be like to your homeboy, hey, it's
Like I'm going
peak
to bed.
Gooning hours, man. You got to
Nah, you can't do that. Can't do that. You'll never live it down.
Right.
But what you will do is sometimes
Oh my God.
you have to go somewhere. Sometimes you have to be like, hey, I gotta go to Walmart. So I'll stay just
Come
run
in
to the
when you
street.
get back.
I'll be when you get back. Like I'm gonna be in the lab a little bit. Being in the Madden's called being in the lab. I'm like, no. I don't want you to be here. If my dad gets here and goes, why is somebody in the house by myself? It's like, your dad's known me since the first grade. I don't think he's gonna trip. Hey, I gotta go to Walmart. Get up and leave now. And then you drive, wait till they get away, and then you just come back and go but all kinds of different things. You gotta manipulate ways to get them out of the house. Sometimes ways to get your mom to leave.
Oh man.
Like, Mom, why don't you go see Momo? Here, just take Momo to lunch. It's for Goon.
Giving your mom money.
Oh my.
Because another thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to take the chance of
Right. Coming home early.
well,
Or,
no. You just don't want to. I think it's a sin to jack off when your mom is home. Your dad, cool. He'll understand if something goes. But I think it's a sin to
He'll
jack off while your
understand.
mom. Like when my mom was home, I couldn't do it.
Right. Yeah, you had to draw the line.
Yeah.
All right. Latest episode of Penguin, a lot happened, you know. We have Penguin, Oz, and who's our Falcone? Chris Melody? What's her?
Oh, Sophia?
Sophia. They team up. They're hitting the streets with a new drug called Bliss. We have a very Vic-centric episode where we get a flashback to the flood, the no man's land. We see where he comes from. Van, where are you at with the Penguin after, I believe this is the third episode or fourth?
I'm loving it. I'll pay off my Penguin Joker thing. So Penguin is he is the Penguin. He has the Penguin DNA, like more so than the Joker does. But this is like this show is actually, to me, geared towards people who are fed up with nerd content, are fed up with the comic bookification of fiction storytelling on these things, because this really is the show, while having the Penguin and introducing a new Penguin and a Penguin that I think is authentic to being called the Penguin. The show is kind of operating as a high-stakes crime show, as well as any high-stakes crime show this way that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
In terms of twists, turns, who's gonna do this, who's gonna do what. We're trying to get this group, we're trying to get that group, we're trying to do this. This doesn't seem like even it doesn't seem like a realm where anyone could save the day. It seems like this doesn't seem like a place where one person is going to have the answer. And I think Batman actually works best when it feels like he'll never be able to finish the job.
Because I was going to ask you, because you're our Pluck radar guy.
Uh-huh.
This was a very Vic heavy episode.
Yeah.
I think the actor who plays Vic, very, very talented, did a lot this episode. I am wondering though, I got to get rid of the Pluck a little bit.
A little plucky.
You know what I'm saying?
He's not that plucky.
He's not that
plucky.
plucky.
He's actually
He's a little
not
plucky.
good at his job. Kind of. Last week.
Also, he be fucking up his job
That's
in
what I'm
ways where
saying.
I'm like, hey, bro, come. I'm like,
Oh, I think he's fucking clutch.
No, yeah, he
What?
kind of is.
I
When
think
it matters, he is.
I think
He is.
he
spilling all the drugs on the dance floor, scared.
Okay, he was having a panic attack for
There's a lot.
second
There's a
of all.
lot going on. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that. Like, in the moments that matter.
Yeah.
Like the first episode, getting Oz out of that jam with Sophia,
Mhm.
and then the last episode, where like just ramming the car in there.
Big move.
Whoa,
Big move. He gets the job done, but there have been some moments putting the diamonds in the car, the
Fuck,
drugs
that
on the
was shaky,
thing.
but he was over that. He
The
got over
cop,
that.
the cop in this episode, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
Ah.
he shook. He lost his money, but like that,
There's-
Oz was like, that's
there's
the price
also a
of the
difference
business.
between not being good at your job and learning your job.
Yeah,
He's
He learned.
just gotten to this world.
yeah, and he's
So-
learning fast.
And I think he has a knack for it.
Yeah,
And the fact that he has a knack for it continually shows itself in the moments where it's highest leverage.
I think there's a
Mhm.
little bit of like it's a rote gimmick for a character like this, but it really is effective when he is clearly anxious and more ill at ease and not in his element. His stutter is worse. It is like visibly worse. And when Oz has gotten him to talk about his family or how confident he is when he's doing his job or working together, it is very minimized. Still there, but I think the elevated acting that it takes to like have an affect like that and like carry that through like portrayals of your character's actual mood and emotional state is really good in this show. I think this was a fantastic display of how good he is in this show, and I loved this episode.
I liked the episode a lot too. I think what it did that was very interesting is show the Riddler attack from another view, right? And so the Riddler, the Riddler's so funny because his whole thing was, we got to get those rich people, man.
And
we gonna do all these rich people, man. All these people above us, they ain't better than us. How do we do that?
Let's kill every poor
Let's
person's
kill all
home.
the brown and poor people in this town.
I'm gonna be honest, amazing actor. If I was in Gotham and I saw Paul Dano, I'm like, he ain't doing nothing for me. In my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I don't really put. And honestly, this is my biggest critique. I think as a country, we need to make crack great again. Because you know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
explain. No.
No. Here's the thing.
Get the drug trade back.
Yeah.
No, because sometimes when I'm watching these fictional worlds, I'm like, dog, Pusha T not gonna be rapping about no bliss. Like,
Well, you
there's
realize
nothing-
that the fucking world completely changes if everybody's on crack in that motherfucker. It's like a little different.
I think
honestly,
Penguin would be better.
Snowfall.
Yeah,
Can you
it's
imagine
small
Penguin's like,
Snowfall, yeah.
I'm introducing crack to the cops.
Nah, man. It gotta be it gotta be a drug, bruh. I'm gonna tell you something right now. If you introduce the crack epidemic into the Batman world, the character completely fucking changes.
For the worse?
Wait, you're telling me
it totally changes.
for the better?
God.
No, if you introduce crack into Gotham, like it,
Oh,
Can you imagine a crackhead Joker?
Because part of it is like, you know,
Bliss, the drug Bliss, you can let it go.
yeah,
Really.
that's for
But
everybody.
here's the thing, I can't
All-
take it serious. It's like Molly. I'm like, what? Batman's gonna be beating up people for taking
But
Molly.
that's what I'm saying. But if it's crack though, he gonna be going to black neighborhoods and beating up folks.
He already does that.
But that's what I'm saying. But it's gonna be so
Nah.
explicit.
Not really.
It's gonna be
They're
com-
really good about showing Batman not just beating the hell out of black people.
If it's crack, he's gonna be going, brother. It's gonna be bad.
But I can't.
You want to cast African American people?
Seriously?
That's what they're gonna be casting them as goons, getting their ass beat by Batman each week.
Bro, I can't take my gangsters seriously when they like, hey, yo, I got this new drug Bliss. You want to try some? I'm like,
It's
got
about
two things.
It's about the
It's-
competition
when
between them. Because imagine fucking Batman pulling up in The Wire. Think about how fucked up that is.
The greatest thing ever.
It
would be the greatest thing ever.
Batman in The Wire would be amazing.
That'd be the greatest thing ever.
I bet
All
you
right,
would like
Steve,
that.
No, it's so funny. That's so funny. I'm not even. I don't
But
care.
think about
king
like
stay
so,
the
you know,
king.
The Barksdales is like it's like Stringer and Avon Barksdale and all of them, and they trying to outsmart McNulty and the rest of them.
No,
but just think about Bodie and them. Oh shit, it's the Batmobile! It's the Bat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Batman pulling, bro. That's too much for them, bro.
I'm not gonna lie.
No, they got cooked.
I hate Batman forever if he's just beating the shit out of Slim Charles. I'm like, God damn.
You can't do nothing to him, bro.
Wait, you're really
They
telling
couldn't
me
fuck with Omar.
you would not watch the
Bro,
HBO
Omar,
show?
bro,
You wouldn't
bro,
watch
bro,
Batman going against Stringer Bell.
Bro, Omar didn't have no utility belt.
Stringer Bell?
Omar didn't have no batarangs. Omar was the Batman of West Baltimore. Bro, Batman kicking fucking
Batman
everybody
makes that
ass.
My
bro.
name is my name.
Wallace still alive if Batman there.
Huh?
Wallace still alive if Batman there.
Nah,
but he's
Wallace,
breathing through
he's
a
breaking
straw
off.
for his whole life.
Wallace would have been Robin.
Come on,
Wow.
man.
Wallace as Robin.
Bro,
yeah.
if Batman would have been in the world of The Wire, then Batman would have been fucking peeping that they was gonna kill Wallace. And just as they was gonna shoot
so
Wallace,
then he uses Wallace.
just as they was gonna shoot Wallace, like, first of all, they're done, right?
Right,
yeah.
Like, they're fucked. Just as they was gonna shoot Wallace, Batman rolls up, kicks fucking Bodie out the
right.
window, poot down the stairs, and he goes, Wallace, you have a choice. You can live this life with these thugs,
Or you could change.
or you could change. Come live with me.
Is this Sylvester Stallone as Batman?
And then that's how that nigga sounds. And then Wallace becomes Robin.
So Damien is in the school season. Damien is just going to the Baltimore school system.
Oh Jesus!
I don't know if Damien's there yet.
No,
I don't
he's
know.
in
I don't know if
juvie
Batman
for
knows
sure.
about him.
Dookie don't fall off if Batman. there,
Dookie,
bro.
here's the thing. Dookie ain't gonna turn to the pipe
Nah.
if Bruce Wayne is around.
I'm
He's
telling
not.
you,
No,
I'm just
yeah, he'll
saying.
beat that out of him.
I'm saying Batman just doesn't work in that world. Batman would clean them niggas up.
Bro, the bodies of the Vegas, that would have been solved in 15 minutes.
Oh my
bro.
God.
15 minutes.
McNulty fake serial killer, you'd be like, hey, he
But
sent
here's
the
That's
body
Batman.
back.
That's the bat.
This is the thing that the Penguin does, where I'd be like, damn, this is really the underworld. This is the Gotham underworld. And then when they was dancing in the club,
And Sophia's like, people need this.
people
need.
look at this.
She's
They
doing a
need
TED talk
bliss.
for drugs.
Can you like, come on, bro?
I mean, I get what you're saying.
Not
But-
really.
Yeah, whoa,
I just don't think that. I don't want no crack Gotham bad enough, dog.
Wait,
Gotham
okay.
bad enough, bro. I don't want no crack in Gotham. I don't need nobody like.
That's just a bummer.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let them have the
But
bliss, and they
instead
can
of that,
fight
we
over
had
the
the guy
bliss.
from the previous episode. He's like, here's the thing. First of all,
Dropheads, yeah.
Drophead is a crazy. You can't call niggas a drophead. And he's and just like doing the drops in his eyes. I'm like, I can't take these drug addicts seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I could do whatever. But so look, Penguin is the type of show that when I watch it, it like in no way feels like I know that I'm in the world.
Yeah.
But it in no way feels superhero-y or comic booky. Like,
No.
it has nothing. When I say nothing, like nothing. And I am starting to wonder, and people can get mad if they want to a little bit, if that's a little bit of a cheap trick, right? And I like it. I like the iteration of the character. It's essentially the same feeling that Todd Phillips gave us with the first Joker. It's not, and let me tell you what I mean. Okay.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm listening.
I'm agreeing with Van here.
I'm listening.
It's like, okay, what we're going to do is kind of take this out of the comic book world, mash the character up a little bit to where you can't give it, and give you a story that really doesn't have very much to do with the actual lore of the character. But by calling it the Penguin, you automatically have an end with the character that makes you curious about it. But then it's a story that has right. And so I'm not saying that this character is not the Penguin like Arthur Fleck isn't the Joker.
If some other fat guy kills him at the end of this show, and then
that'd be amazing.
That would be fucking great. If some guy comes
Dino
with a
is like
takes a fucking gun and then pow pow.
Somebody with
top hat
like
on,
the whole deal.
Oh my god!
I do understand what they're doing,
Right.
and I appreciate what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm watching the show, and this is a testament to the show, I'm not fucking thinking about Batman. I'm not thinking about Gotham City. I'm not thinking about none of that stuff.
When we had the flashback that I didn't know was a flashback to Vic before...
Hell of a way to start the show.
Yeah, hell of a way to start the show. Before the flood, I'm like, oh shit. Like the fact that we have even a thing that was a thread line through to that first Batman film, I didn't feel like it cheapened it, but like I literally forgot until that happened that I'm like, oh right, we're in Gotham and the Riddler blew up a dam and flooded the entire city. I forgot about that. Yeah. And that's his entire like impetus of losing his family and being a lot more on his own and wanting something better for his life.
Quick question about, speaking of wanting better for his life, if your girl showed up and was like, hey, we got to leave Gotham.
Oh, the second that he was like, that he gave her that money and I was like, I'm going to figure out. I'm like, oh, they're fucked.
I'll tell you something. It ain't a woman on this planet bad enough to make me ride from New York to California on the bus.
That's insane.
That could have been a bus to the airport.
Steve!
Well, you be doing shit like that on
Steve!
purpose. You know damn well that they not riding the bus to the airport. She's standing there.
He gave her like a grand.
No, he didn't.
You couldn't get a flight out of
He got a grand and a half. He gave her
probably
$5.
like
$500.
$500. And she spent that
You
shit.
get a flight out of here for
Man,
$500.
she spent that shit on drops.
Here's the thing.
She bought drops with that shit.
That's how I know y'all.
I know it's drop head when I see one.
That's how I know y'all have never ridden the bus. I used to have to ride like the K-Town bus from like, I think I would go from New York to Philly. And I'd be like, this is the worst experience of my life.
Yeah, no, don't take the bus.
Just never take like.
Wait, we have to say something. There are a lot of people out there watching it that
they are on the bus
right.
They have to ride the bus. And I'm saying I've been one of those people.
Sure.
Same.
And one of the things in my life that made me strive for more is I got to a point I said I can't fucking do it anymore.
Right.
So the moment I saw them about to ride, I knew he wasn't getting on that bus. You expected this motherfucker to get out of a Maserati.
A purple Maserati
and walk over there and get on the thing with a...
Here's the thing. To be fair, I was like moving to Cali with a beautiful woman.
Versus
staying here with Oz Cobb.
In Gotham?
In Gotham?
Shit is bomb.
We're living in
out.
FEMA
Come
tents.
on,
They
That's
just
like,
said
what's
that.
his face? That was like when, who's the YouTube TikToker when he went to the Bay Area and he's just like, y'all.
Keith
Oh,
Lee?
no.
He's like, y'all living in
That
Gotham.
that wasn't right, bro.
That was crazy.
That was
Man,
nuts.
I fuck
Don't
with
do
Keith
it.
Lee, but
Don't do that, man.
Keith Lee went up there. He
like,
called
this
some
is-
people whole community.
He was
Gotham
like, it's
City. That
smelly
wasn't-
up here, bro.
that wasn't
So I
right.
went to
Y'all live
Gotham.
like this?
That wasn't
I
right.
love
I
this.
know it smelled crazy
I
over there.
love
That was
Keith Lee.
nuts,
That
man.
was that. The Keith Lee
But what was
like,
it? What would his Gotham video be like? So I went to Gotham.
Yeah,
Let's
go
talk
to
about
Gotham.
it.
Okay,
Let's
ready,
talk
one-
about
Oh,
it.
ready,
whoa,
one
whoa,
through 10.
guys, you know the food in Gotham is terrible.
Gotta
the
be
food
awful.
scene is terrible.
It's got to be awful. Nah, it's got to be bad. It's got to be bad.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly don't understand how people still live in Gotham. Like, there was this like TikTok trend, like maybe a couple years ago, where like it was like gunshots outside, and it's like, man, when fucking the Batman is blowing up your car to fight Joker, but rent is $3 a month.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it's got to be to live in Gotham.
Yeah.
'cause there's
Rent's
no way.
$3,
Honestly,
but
You can't raise
everything
a
gets
family in
destroyed.
Gotham, bro.
I was going to Temple University. I was living in Philly. Here's the thing. I'd hear gunshots every night before I went to bed, but the rent, unbelievable. Just sometimes
You gotta
when
make a
broke,
call.
you like, hey.
You got to make a call.
There was no Batman, though.
no Batman. The show. Question. This show ends on what I think is the most precarious cliffhanger of all of them.
How are these
I
boys
do
going to get out
not
of this
see
one?
Talk
how
about
he's
this,
going
yeah.
to get out of this.
How's he
Wait,
going
can
to
we
get out
go
of this
before
one?
that?
Go
Because this
for it.
is quite literally one of the funniest moments I've ever seen. Oz, he's like, I'm so sorry. I sent you to Arkham.
Oh, yeah.
My fault, G.
Yeah.
Motherfucking Vic comes in. He pops open the door.
Leave her.
He's like, what about Sophie? He's like, leave her. I was dying. I was
And this
rolling.
this nigga, he's a drug addict himself because he's
Yeah.
high on the fucking crime life. We're in it now. We're in it
now.
now. I'm like,
Yeah,
yo,
really?
He's
bro,
high
you
on
are
friendship.
fucked, bro.
He's like, you
Yeah.
came back for me. Let's go.
Get
That's how
right.
you know you had balls, baby.
So the show does I'm sorry.
It's great.
It's great storytelling. Like, this is the episode where you feel like, and you know that you don't have a million episodes of the show, but this is the episode where you feel like that he's finally gotten through to Sophia and that he's able to make her, and you see the push-pull between them.
Oh yeah,
She doesn't quite
but it's
trust him.
like a
It's a
nice
little-
uneasy alliance.
a
there.
little
Yeah.
power struggle right there. But you
Mhm.
think that he's finally done it. He's helped her win. All of their little schemes are coming to fruition. You think that the cliffhanger of the show is going to be Vic, but it's not. It's the fact that he's been found out. His double dealing is now on Front Street, and and Vic has to crash the car. And I'm like, they really have a big job in the next episode
Yeah.
to me.
How many
Two.
episodes is this?
It's 8.
So we're almost halfway through?
Yeah,
Almost
next week
halfway.
is the Sophia episode.
Okay.
And then we'll see what it looks like after that. To your point, I think that's the kind of television that really means something. When you write yourself into a corner like that, where Sophia knows that you've been out there talking to the Maronis, doing this thing.
Mid-season.
How in the hell
Are you
does
getting out
the
of this?
Penguin? This is how you make your money
It
right here.
better fucking make sense, though.
If it makes sense, if they can pull this off,
This is an Andor level moment for this type.
oh,
of
let's. Oh, okay.
Oh, for real?
All
All
right, man. All right,
Guys,
get that dip off
guys.
that shit.
Why not?
All right.
Y'all,
And
I would.
Andor
I'm
level
never
moment,
comparing
I
this
have
shit
to-
to the Sopranos.
wait, we have to see it.
Y'all gotta stop nut hugging Andor too. Andor was a great show, but Andor is not like a show can be as good as Andor, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I don't disagree with you.
A
This-
show?
I'm not-
No.
I'm not
A
saying
show
this
can-
show.
A show can be as good as Andor. There are levels to this. Like Penguin is not Andor.
It's not
Well,
I'm
Andor,
saying,
but it's
but
really,
no, but
really
I'm
good.
saying that like it takes
Close?
it takes it seriously
I'm
enough to where
enjoying
that it, Yeah.
I'm enjoying Penguin as much as I enjoyed Andor.
yeah.
I am. It ain't got no. I'm in the fire, and I will never be respected for it.
I
got animals like that.
I fight every day for a sunrise I'll know I'll never be able to see. That was bars.
Nah, man.
He was
it's not.
Until we get that, maybe not.
Penguin not
He was
there.
cooking like
There's
that.
no-
in Andor.
no-
huh?
there's no one way out.
Like I know
There's
I'm
no
a
none of
hater.
that.
Like, but Penguin hasn't
Again,
doesn't have that level of writing.
we'll
or
have to
direction.
see it. If the Penguin can get out of this jam where
Plots
he
and
has
schemes.
he has left Sophia with their biggest ops, right? And he now has to reconcile that. I can't say words. He has to reconcile that with Sophia and somehow get back in her good graces. And we're sitting there and it makes sense and we're like, we understand and it's good. That I don't know, I'd have to see it first. But then, yeah, the show is doing an amazing job.
But it's also this weird tension because I'm like, I don't feel the safety of plot armor around any of these characters. Maybe not even Penguin.
Well, he has plot armor.
He's definitely got plot.
Not maybe until like the last episode, but do we even know that?
I mean,
They ain't
he's
killing
the
off
they're not
Maybe?
killing off the Penguin. Why would
Kill
they? Come on.
Maybe.
That seems like a
All right, Steve. Killing off the Penguin.
Why not?
no. See, you always be doing this. You always be like,
You take it
why
too
not?
far,
I mean, they
bro.
Why
could.
not?
I mean, they could,
could.
but I don't think they are. But they could. They could. What
But
if they
again,
did?
like
I mean, you
the
know,
show
Colin Farrell said he doesn't want to play the character anymore.
Yeah, but it's
Wait,
like, but it's the fact that like the show's operating in a way where I'm like, really, anything can happen, and
Wait,
I
why
kind of
doesn't Colin want to play the fast suit?
He said he doesn't want to do the suit.
The suit's crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. You got to think, this is 8 episodes.
that's like 4 hours in the chair.
Yeah, he was probably
I
like, fuck
think
all this.
I think probably like for a movie, you probably come in for like a week, 2 weeks, or something like that. But for a movie or a TV show, when you coming in for like 3-4 months, yeah, it's probably.
No, we
do you
can't do it.
think that this? I think what worries me about this show in terms of what it means for the Batman is I thought the original Batman. I love the movie. But Reeves was very self-serious, and I think that like this show takes itself seriously.
Insanely seriously.
Do you think he's going to double down on that self-seriousness, or do you think with the second film?
No. No, this is the world. Yes, he's going to double down. But it'll be even more serious.
Here's the thing.
That scares me a little because I wanted after the first Reeves film, I'm like, I do want a little bit more fun.
Oh, but that Dark Knight trilogy is insanely serious.
Is it weird?
You don't think so?
It's
Have you watched The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises recently? Like, it does have moments where there's levity, it's fun,
funny,
there's
yeah.
action.
No,
there's
there's
a
funny,
little poppier.
There's funny stuff in the movie, but those movies fucking mean it. And the first Batman maybe is a little bit more dour. See, I think there's one thing to be serious, and there's another thing to be like emo. That Batman movie is like it's
Emo,
dour,
yeah,
it's
man.
emo, right? And there's not a lot.
Take 2 hours
But you
to
know,
walk
but you know who
upstairs.
the comic relief in the movie is?
Is the Penguin.
Penguin.
And there's levity and I think quote unquote fun to be had in Penguin.
Oh yeah,
There is.
he's
There absolutely.
he's
Like
a great
there's
character.
the vibe's a little lighter in Penguin from the Batman.
Here's the thing.
for sure.
I watched the show and I'm just like, Batman 2, dog, it's going to be a My Chemical Romance movie for 2.5 hours.
I'm gonna love it.
You know?
Also,
if
though,
it's
I
the
will-
Black Parade just walking around.
I will say about Batman 2, it'll be interesting to see where the character is when the character is a little bit more confident being Batman. At the end of the movie, it seems like he finds his hero a little bit more.
Yeah.
And he gets it a little bit more. He takes maybe more of a bird's eye view of Gotham rather than just being the avenging angel of Gotham.
Mhm.
Maybe that changes the portrayal of the character or how we get the character. Maybe. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I like the movie, but that's not a great film to rewatch. I do think that this is I watch these episodes more. I think there's a lot more happening in these ones. I do think Oz is funny. Like in this episode where they burst in on the guy as he's cheating on the wife. That's a great scene.
And again, it's playing to that insecurity that he has where I'm like, if you push his buttons just enough, like you can get him to snap.
Didn't kill him though.
Didn't kill him.
Didn't
but
kill him,
like,
he's learning.
Like
I
he
thought he
knows
was
how
going to.
He's
yeah.
learning.
But I don't know if I'm Vic. The first time that motherfucker points a gun at me, I'm not like, yo, I'm coming back to save you. I'm like, I'm out
But
of here.
again, like that's that great speech where he had in the bathroom, which is like the crux of the whole scene, where it's just like, you think I'm keeping you hostage? Like you're
could've
good
been
at
left.
this.
But also-
you like this.
At the beginning of the episode, you saw that there's something in Vic. It's
Yeah.
not only Oz's influence over Vic that is keeping Vic close to him. There's
And
something in Vic where Vic wants a little bit more than his father had.
And he
wants
says
a
it.
little bit. Yeah, that like he likes it. And almost every character like Vic gets to a point to where they ask themselves, am I in a situation that I can't get out of, or do I like this?
And that's exactly where like Penguin is right now in his journey, and Vic is just starting to flirt with that idea. Like
more.
it's when you see him at the end where he's actually like genuinely apologizing to Sophia, and he's like, I can't help myself. Like I wriggle out of it because it's the thing. Like a person like me, a guy like me, can get something better out of this life. And the things that I can get, like, I'm going to do whatever I can. And, like, he's honest about Sophia with that. And it's immediately cutting to Vic having this choice to be like, all right, am I going to find the thing that I'm told is nice and that I'm better than? Or am I going to reach for something that I have a flair for? And he can see it. He can see down that road. And there's that great mentor-mentee that's like, actually working and I'm buying.
That
bring
motherfucker's
it-
getting paid $1,000 a fucking week.
But I'm
once
like,
you once you spend $1, it's not a wrap.
But that's
no more.
great.
Well,
but
There
imagine
ain't no health, no dental.
To bring it back to The Wire a little bit, it's kind of like he can either be Bodhi or he can be Wallace.
I know, but
Right?
like, do you think Penguin could cross Vic at the end of the show?
Probably, if he had to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the genius. That's the magic. Like,
Yeah.
we know that the Penguin is a slimy, slippery bastard, right? At the end of the day, does it make sense for him in how he's crossing? Like,
Yeah.
can he find a heart with Vic? Or is he going to sell Vic down the river, like, with the chance? Because everybody else is fair game. Literally, everybody else, I'll sell you for half a bag of chips and a ham sandwich.
And I'm very curious
know?
to see what it's going to say about that character if there comes a choice to where is he going to cross Vic or is he going to stay loyal
He
to him?
threw a teenage girl under the bus and sent her ass to Arkham. This motherfucker is like,
I
he
know,
looks
but
at
like-
Vic like lunch. Like, bro.
Who's to say that a turn can't happen?
I mean, I don't know what the future for Vic is in this entire world. I wouldn't be surprised if Vic ends up
Screwed over in some way?
screwed over, but I also wouldn't be surprised if the show makes the point that that's the best thing for him. That the best thing for him would be betrayal by his mentor, or the best thing would be for him, no matter how messy, to get away from all it is before he gets
Too deep.
too deep into it, right? And so I don't know where that goes. Or, you know, the kid who plays Vic talking about he want to play Miles Morales. So obviously
Oh.
he not looking for the Vic spinoff series.
All right. We don't need a Vic
gotta-
spinoff series.
We gotta be real. Every single time we got a new motherfucker in this shit, they like, oh, Miles Morales. I'm like, let's
Everybody want to
Take it
play
easy.
Miles Morales.
like,
man.
let's calm down. You know what I'm saying? Let's
They
calm
They
down.
want to play him.
But it is everybody. Yeah, man. You know, hey, man, who would you like to play, man? Miles Morales. They got like 90 Miles Morales running around.
And here's the thing, maybe I'm too protective of Miles Morales, but like, come on, y'all. Come on. You got a little too much dip on your chip. I need to see more. I mean,
it's a hard role to play. And like, look, we're not gonna get. I think the best thing for bringing Miles Morales to the MCU would be if Tom Holland's non-Spider-Man movie career takes off.
What?
Tough.
Tom
Yeah,
Holland.
I don't know.
Tough.
Tom Holland's gonna take up a lot of real estate as Spider-Man until he stops flopping every other time he's on screen.
Oh yeah, that's tough.
He got to work. He got to do some TV or something.
he's Iron Man
Yeah.
Jr. really right now, in the same way that Robert Downey just can't help but come back to the MCU. I think it's been a tough time in
Well,
the wilderness for
Robert won
Tom.
an Oscar. He did win an Oscar.
But that's after,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't think he was on like Oscar bait type stuff
No,
until
but
Oppenheimer.
he
but
was. I mean,
he was always
He
a
had
great
a whole
actor, though.
Apple series
No,
that was like,
wait, hold on.
I'm being fair to him.
But
He
Robert
had
Downey-
Sherlock Holmes, and he had movies
Yeah,
that people like.
But Robert Downey Jr. was also like nominated for an Oscar way back when, before Iron Man.
92.
No, I'm more so mean in the
93.
same way that like if
91.
the check clears, RDJ's like, I'll keep coming back as Iron Man. I think there is a world where Tom Holland is the lead in a lot of these Avengers movies.
If the other things, if he doesn't have any stinkers at the box office.
Yeah, my thing with Robert Downey Jr. is he didn't have to come back. He was
Yeah,
already
he didn't
like,
have to.
He had his
His money's
problems, but he was already like an established Hollywood
he
figure.
just loves it.
He just loved the
Hey.
game, loved the hustle.
He just loves it.
Tom Holland kind of does. He got bills to pay. You know what I mean? In terms of
What?
Nigga rich. The fuck you talking about?
He was Spider-Man for how many years now?
Guys.
Nigga rich. I don't know why you hating on him. What you don't
I'm
He a
not
house
hating.
husband. He
You
dating
don't-
Zendaya.
You don't like Tom Holland? Tom
Zendaya-
Holland that made that money.
What I'm saying is,
Like,
but he's not doing anything else. To your point,
he rich.
He's gotta keep
So
making
what you're saying
Spider-Mans.
is it's getting awkward in the house. Z is like, hey, Tom,
Zendaya doesn't
Tommy.
need Spider-Man.
yeah,
Definitely doesn't need
you
Spider-Man.
know that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, he's not that established an actor. Got bills to pay. What else you gonna do besides Spider-Man? I'm agreeing with you. He's got to make
Right.
Spider-Man movies.
So here, imagine this: you're Tom Holland, and you got to build that career post Spider-Man
hmm
and keep Zendaya.
Okay,
How do we do this?
how do you do it? Well,
I don't know
first-
that. I think it's unfair to Zendaya to be like he got to accomplish.
You
all
think
kinds of
she's
stuff.
like
Get out
coaching
the
him to be like, come
Yeah.
on.
You got to get out the house.
I think she probably has a.
Come on, man. Let's go make Spider-Man.
I
Let's go
think
make
she-
Spider-Man
I think
4,
she
bro.
loves her boyfriend, and I think it's okay.
Yeah, they're cute.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
What is going on with you this episode?
Nothing. I'm just saying that to me, I want to protect dogs and Zendaya's honor.
I never saw you be so respectful in your life, bro.
The Tom Holland thing is interesting because he did that movie. He did the Cherry movie. He did the thing with Daisy Ridley. He did Uncharted, and it's not hitting
Mhm.
on any type of level.
And I hear
People-
the Romeo and Juliet reviews aren't that great.
and people are asking the question: Is he a Spider-Man merchant? Right? Like
Mhm.
without Spider-Man, will we even hear this dude? And I think it's tough because he's not young anymore though, right? He's like my age.
Nah, but
He's
he's
gonna
still
be
look like
28.
he's 16.
But
He still
also,
looks young,
yeah,
but
no,
like,
he'll be just fine.
The Fred Astaire movie is going to be a big deal. Also needs the
Oh,
right
yeah, he is
role
the Fred Astaire.
Yeah, right?
To
So,
showcase his talent.
It's not
Yeah.
the end of the road, but then you do start to ask questions like, who are you without Spider-Man? You know what I'm saying? And I want better for him. I hope like the Fred Astaire
Yeah,
movie
of
goes
course.
crazy. But we've seen the track record, and outside of Spider-Man, it's kind of looking like a little Mickey
You know
Mouse.
what? I think
sure.
his problem was he didn't do what a lot of his other like co-stars before him did, where it's like Daniel Radcliffe when he was playing Harry Potter, or Robert Pattinson after the Twilight movies. I think you actually need to not go the movie star route, and you got to get with like the Safdies or
You
kind
got
of
to do some
younger-
weird stuff.
You got to do some like weird stuff. So when you like come back and Robert Pattinson's like, I'm
That's fair.
Batman now,
Mm.
you had seen him try enough. Like when
Mhm.
if his movie fails, but it's a newish director and it's interesting, we're like, oh, Robert Pattinson's making interesting choices.
Yeah.
Where I think Tom Holland has tried to go the I'm
Right.
trying to be a superstar.
And by the way, and it took Robert Pattinson to a second to get into that.
For sure.
Like,
Yeah.
he
But we
was
gave
doing
him
water
time
for
because he wasn't going
elephants
straight.
movies and all of that stuff, and then he got to a point where it was like, let's get a little grimy and let's see what I can do.
But would
Yeah.
we have
I
taken
don't
Robert
know,
Pattinson
man.
seriously if he went right from Twilight to Bat? We'd be like, it took
If
a
he
couple-
had the same trajectory, you mean? Like if he
Yes.
was still doing the movie for teens, if he was doing like a Maze Runner like type
I mean, to
of
be honest with you,
series.
Zendaya did the same thing, right?
A little bit.
Zendaya was a kid performer, and then really what made people take Zendaya seriously as an actress is when she played a character that was a little grimier. Euphoria, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, there's the Chalamet comp to Tom Holland because like they're the same age, right? And
Charlamagne
Chalamet
ain't never putting tights on.
probably not, right? But with Dune and
Mhm.
like the Bob Dylan movie, like all the stuff he's
All
doing.
right, that Bob Dylan movie looks crazy.
It looks crazy.
I posted this where I'm just like, I think Walk Hard ruined
Yeah,
this movie
man.
already before out of
Yeah,
the jump.
and all the musician biopics. But and I've said this, I think Timothy can play Spider-Man, but Tom can't play Paul
Bob
Muad'Dib.
Dylan.
Like
No, I deep.
I like
No,
both
I don't think he
performers. There
could,
are
right?
levels. There
Yeah.
are,
Yeah, there are
there-
levels.
it's different levels, right? And so like I don't know. I don't like. I would have to see it from Tom, man. Like that's ultimately where it comes down to. Like I'd have to really see it because Pattinson. I always felt like when I first saw he was cast as Batman, my first initial thought was, bro, from Twilight. But then you think about it for like 3 seconds about like what Bruce Wayne is, what Batman
Oh yeah, no,
is,
he's perfect.
and you're like, oh, he might cook. Let's see it. Movie comes out, we're like, oh, this was awesome. He did a really good job. When you see like Tom Holland get cast, you're like, it's not there, right? And so ultimately,
Also, you haven't seen it yet. He just has to. He has
he
to. make
hasn't
sure.
seen it. He's young enough to the point where like there might be something for him later, but like
He's
in this moment right
insanely
now,
young, and he's having a ridiculously good start to
I'm
his career.
on 28. I feel old, but
He's 28. Let me tell you something right now. I think what this comes back to is the Penguin is cooking,
Yes.
yes.
and Tom Holland is cooking
For
as
Zendaya?
Spider-Man.
Oh,
Right. Okay.
he's not at home. Like, hey, baby, what you want for dinner tonight?
I thought that was going.
I think
no,
it was-
I thought you were like,
For Zendaya?
hey, Tom Holland is at home cooking for
Why-
Zendaya.
real
That's
real
the
quick,
same
can I be honest? Did I miss some kind of update? Why are we painting Tom Holland as a Zendaya, as like Mr. Zendaya?
So
Whoa,
because
this is the
I mean,
internet.
listen,
This is not
this-
us.
this
This
is
is
it.
the internet.
because
Have I missed this? I haven't
you
seen
definitely
this.
missed this.
Yeah.
Because Zendaya is always booked and busy. She winning Emmys. She's out there doing her thing, like
Yeah. Big star.
consistently. Big star. She's out there with Chalamet doing Dune 2, all that stuff.
They met on his movie.
Yeah. Again, it's
Again, but it's just that movie. Right? Where is Tom?
Yeah.
Where is Tom? We see Zendaya out there. We're saying, where's Tom? Tom at home. He's cooking. He's cleaning.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas is something.
I think there's also, if we being real, I think niggas are salty. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Niggas are salty, bro.
Absolutely, I'm salty.
Nobody really
What
wants
you
to be
mean?
like. That's what happens when you dating Zendaya. People like.
He
motherfuckers
posted that
are
mirror
right.
selfie when he was in the Spider-Man
was-
outfit.
brother,
you were
I'm-
so mad.
I fell to my knees, bro. I fell to my knees.
He was the Yu-Gi-Oh meme. It should
I
have
was
been me.
I was like, oh man, must be nice. Must be nice to be Spider-Man.
That's
Yeah.
a wrap. On Friday, tune into
Ugh.
new episodes of House of R and Button Mash. Button Mash is doing so well. I asked for an episode of Button Mash to be made. I was told to jam it. That's fine. I don't have any problem with it. Our producers are Steve, the farter Ahlman.
Yes.
Apologize to Aleya.
Profusely.
Jonathan, the Black Void Kermah.
Christ.
Aleya O'Brien Zenieris. Jomi, the player Adeniran on socials. Hashtag Jomi John Stewart Green Lantern.
I could do it. I could do it.
you
got a
could.
beard?
Yeah, man.
Who would be your Hal Jordan?
My Hal Jordan. Like actually,
Who would be your Hal? It has to be somebody in your life. Who would be your Hal Jordan?
Mike Trudell. Shout out Mike Trudell, Lakers reporter. That's my guy. He'd be a great Hal Jordan. Shout out to him.
Terrible answer. An additional
You
production
asked
from
about my life.
Arjuna Dawacha.
I hate her.
Ramgopal. Chuck, take us out.
Shout out Kerm as dark as the void. The penguin is racing up the charts.
Well.
And hide your kids and wives from Steve Ahlman's farts.
It was the cheese stick. It was cheese.
The cheese. You shouldn't have the cheese.
Yeah, when my mom
There's
was
got to
on
be a
my-
line somewhere.
Yeah, yeah,
So let
yeah.
me tell you, I'll tell you why. Last thing, and then we can move on to Joker.
Oh,
Please,
sure. Oh, you
because-
promise? Okay.
Because this happened and it was a very upsetting situation.
Right.
I was in the shower
Okay.
and I had the lotion with me in the shower. And my mom and my sister and my grandmother were in the front room. And and my sister tells
Wait,
us
who was in the house?
Lotion
my
in
mom,
the shower.
my sister, and my grandmother were
Oh,
in the front room.
bro, you need to be locked.
And I was
You
in
gotta be
I was in the shower, right? And it was going down in the shower.
Under the jail.
And then so
Under the
my
jail.
mom was getting ready to go somewhere. And my mom was looking for the lotion. Ebony tells this story, it's so funny. And so she was looking for the lotion and Ebony knocks on the door. Ebony knew where the lotion was. And I threw the lotion over the thing,
Wait, threw it over the.
over the shower.
The shower
thing.
curtain.
Oh, like a grenade? Just like.
Yeah, I threw it over there. And then
Made
so
out.
Ebony goes.
Made out.
So my sister goes, she goes out. So you know what Mom and Mamo said about you? And I was like, what? She was like, so I go in there and I bring the shower. I bring the lotion to Mom and Mom goes, where's the lotion? And she goes, Van had it in the shower with him. And then she went, Mom then looked at Mamo and went, I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed.
We'll be right back.
I was so embarrassed that that's when I instituted the rule.
I'm gonna be honest. Also, it is one of the most vile things I've ever heard that you're using the communal family lotion
Oh, this was early in the game.
as the
Right,
booting
rookie
That's
mistake.
like that's
This was early in the game.
Right.
This was before you discover coconut oil and all of that stuff.
Right.
All right, let's move on.
Lotion in
Joker. Coconut oil is superior. So Joker.